Our school's making a splash. I'm super handsome and exceptionally talented. Those of you talking about the privileged, why don't you show us your college entrance exam scores? Our school +1. Everyone from our school truly admires him. This kid is genuinely amazing. Going to school, falling in love, and developing 2 companies at the same time. Putting everything else aside, I'm truly impressed by his energy. Weibo scrolled through the comments. Although there were some snide remarks, most of them were quite friendly. After all, Chun Mao had excellent public appeal, and Lingxi was engaged in a venture that benefited both the nation and its citizens. Meanwhile, in just one day, Weibo's Weibo followers quickly surpassed 1 million. What a formal Weibo account. Not even a single selfie. It's like an AI bot. If Lu Chong hadn't pointed the way, I would have thought I'd stumbled upon a fake account. No selfies, but there are videos. He looks so handsome in the alumni story. Typically, this kind of overnight sensation would leave those experiencing it feeling fearful or nervous. But Weibo was completely different. He had already mentally prepared himself, and he was very happy about the effective conversion of this surge in popularity. That day, he posted 3 consecutive Weibo messages promoting the July 22nd live broadcast. Lingxi, Haida University, Haida Affiliated Hospital, and even Huaxing Technology all posted related promotional Weibo messages. By this point, the buzz around this matter was already extremely high. By evening, Yu Li and Wu Ruxin's reposts further pushed the matter to a climax. Many netizens only then realized that both of these individuals were signed artists of Muqiao culture. Finally, we know who's behind Chen Mao. It's the Luqing Circle. Under this comment, many people asked, what is the Luqing Circle? The original poster replied, in the entertainment industry, capital used to be divided into various circles like the Jing Circle, Northwest Circle, Haiqing Circle, Gangchang Circle, and so on. Everyone should know about these, right? Luqing is a small city, and logically speaking, the capital from this city should be negligible. But if you all dig into who Yu Li is, you'll understand why I say this. Last July, people from the Luqing Circle began to make their move, with film, television, and music all flourishing. Oh, and by the way, Weibo, who trended today, and Chun Mao, who has recently become famous across Asia, are both from Luqing. People are always curious about wealthy and mysterious individuals. As a result, this comment garnered tens of thousands of likes within half an hour, and discussions about Luqing Circle capital grew rampant. Is there another major strategic move being planned? Can any insider shed some light? Is national economic development going to shift southward? But Luqing is too close to Haicheng. It's unlikely to develop significantly, right? There's so little information about Yu Li online, and her family background is even more mysterious. This woman, who controls Liuqing's capital, is shrouded in enigma. This direction of public opinion left Weibo completely bewildered. What Luqing Circle, what capital, what major moves, what grand strategies? Do we need a reason for so many people in Muqiao culture to be from Luqing? Can it just be because they were born and raised in Luqing? Someone even guessed that he was the great-grandson of a founding general surnamed Wei, and they even spoke with such conviction. Wow. Oh, netizens' overactive imaginations are truly terrifying. By now, the situation's development was slightly out of control. However, Weibo felt that none of this was seriously detrimental. If netizens love to guess, then let them guess. Anyway, everything would transform into attention for the July 22nd live broadcast and support for Lingxi. However, with such a massive amount of attention, this live broadcast was indeed a challenge. The planning proposal was personally written by Weibo, and risk contingency plans had also been put in place. This included contingency plans for equipment malfunctions, experimental accidents, network outages, and even backup test subjects were prepared for any unforeseen circumstances. But with the development of public opinion, Weibo felt that the planning still needed further supplementation and refinement. What do the viewers care about? Or rather, what can capture the audience's attention? Weibo read many comments and suddenly thought of the live broadcasts of Supernova Training Camp. On-site interaction, live calls, online interaction, and lottery giveaways. Could these methods be incorporated into Lingxi's live broadcast? Weibo thought this should be feasible. He settled his mind and began to refer to relevant cases, writing up interactive designs. On the 20th, Lingxi's paper was finally published. This matter caused an earthquake-like sensation within the small circle. Jiang Xiang's phone was constantly ringing, with either media outlets requesting interviews or universities inviting him for lectures. Weibo instructed Shui Peng to secure a mid-tier trending topic for hashtag Lingxi Journal Paper hashtag. The trending topic didn't primarily focus on introducing the paper. Instead, it highlighted the immense value of a T-journal paper and the astonishment of various prominent figures regarding this matter. Under the trending topic, there was widespread astonishment from netizens. I don't understand it, but I'm deeply impressed. Holy crap, a T-journal. If I could get an A-journal paper in my lifetime, it would mean my ancestors' graves are smoking. A T-journal? I wouldn't even dare to dream of it. I don't know what a T-journal is, but how could I not know Professor Wuing? Even Professor Wu forwarded it. This is truly amazing. What was Wang Ying thinking? Not aligning herself with such an academic giant and instead spreading slander. It's unbelievable. Big shot. Are you still looking for a girlfriend? I'm young and beautiful. Can't do PowerPoint. No other requests. Just help me with my thesis. Guys, I've seen a living scientist. Faced with the overwhelming praise, Jiang Xiang felt extremely panicked, not knowing how to face or respond to the netizens. How am I that amazing? Yu Heguang's eyes widened. You've published in a T-journal, and you're still not badass? Jiang Xiang. I'm not the only one in the country who has published in a T-journal. Besides me, who would get this much attention? It's all because Weibo is too good at marketing. Yu Heguang. But you still need a T-journal publication to have something to market. Jiang Xiang stopped dwelling on the issue, more worried about the live stream on the 22ND. A simultaneous live stream on Weibo, Douyin, and Bilibili, with several senior experts for live discussion. There's even an interactive Q&A session with the audience. When they first mentioned a live stream, I really didn't expect it to end up on such a large scale. At that time, he would have to communicate live with the experts and teachers in the observation room. Just thinking about it made him nervous. Yu Heguang sympathized. There's one rehearsal tomorrow, starting at 4 in the afternoon. We have to be there by 2. He was in charge of managing the entire process and also had to communicate with people from Huasheng, Haida affiliated hospital, and the live stream team. He had been swamped lately. Jiang Xiang nodded. Let's go together from the company then. For the rehearsal, both Weibo and Xian Yuman were present. When they arrived, the set was already mostly prepared. Due to the patient's physical and psychological condition, the patient themselves was not required to be present for this rehearsal. It was a procedural rehearsal, with Lu Chong pretending to be the patient, lying on the experimental bed. A dozen or so minutes later, the host began to warm up, introducing the experimental background and showcasing the environment. Next was the preparation phase, divided into the preparation of the subject and the creation and explanation of Lingxi. Then came the experimental process itself. During this process, an observation room format was used where experts could provide commentary, discussion, or even raise questions at any time. Finally, there was the concluding summary and the interactive session. After the 2-hour-plus simulation rehearsal ended, Lingxi performed very stably. The Lingxi staff and the medical staff from Haida affiliated hospital all breathed a sigh of relief. Only Weibo couldn't smile. Because they had worked together before and he trusted the other's professionalism, the host for this live stream was set to be Li Zheng. The host script was personally written by Weibo for Li Zheng and was very detailed. It was clear that Li Zheng had also prepared diligently. He had memorized the script fluently. But the key issue was that Li Zheng was clearly just reciting the script without truly understanding the content, so what he said came out very obscure. Therefore, Weibo discovered a huge mistake he had made. He had actually expected a host with a journalism background, who knew nothing about brain-computer interfaces, to explain Lingxi in an interesting way that the audience could understand. Wasn't that asking too much of him? But the live stream was the day after tomorrow. Where could he find a host who understood brain-computer interfaces now? Weibo's gaze shifted to Lu Chong, who was chatting enthusiastically with a medical team from Haida affiliated hospital, and then to Yu Heguang, who was communicating with the live stream team. Forget it. Given those two's on-the-spot reactions, even if they dared to go on, he wouldn't dare to agree. Student Xie, we're short a host, Weibo sighed. Xian Yuman blinked. No, we're not. Weibo, Li Zheng won't work. We need someone who understands brain-computer interfaces. Xian Yuman nodded. Weibo, how about you? Xian Yuman looked at him seriously. You, little turtle, this turtle. Huh. Weibo had actually wanted to say, how about asking Student Xie if Sister Xian would be willing to come? But Student Xie blurted out you, which completely stunned Weibo. Who was you? From a grammatical standpoint, it was the second person. From a positional standpoint, Student Xie's second person at this moment was undoubtedly him, Weibo. So Student Xie meant for him to do himself. Weibo thought about it. This matter seemed, perhaps, not entirely impossible. If he did it himself, all the segments would connect smoothly, and it would be easier to remedy any unexpected situations. But he had never even considered this possibility before. The reason? He had positioned himself as the chief strategist, not one of the players. But with Student Xie's reminder, it seemed that, indeed, there was no one more suitable to be the host than him. Okay, Weibo was not one to dawdle. He made the decision immediately. I'll be the host. After making the decision, Weibo first ran it by Jiang Xiang. After receiving Jiang Xiang's strong support, he then went to find Li Zheng. It was quite an apology to replace him at the last minute. Weibo expressed that Li Zheng had hosted very well, and it was his own lack of foresight. Li Zheng let out a heavy sigh of relief. I was actually just gritting my teeth and holding on. If I wasn't afraid you wouldn't be able to find a replacement for me, I would have resigned long ago. To be honest, that was too exhausting. I've never done such a taxing session. Mr. Wei, it's great that you're willing to do it yourself. Although Li Zheng said that, Weibo insisted on paying him as agreed. Li Zheng didn't refuse, and they agreed to play ball together when Weibo was free. After unloading the burden, Li Zheng left the Haida-affiliated hospital feeling light and relieved. The medical staff at Haida didn't have time for another rehearsal. Weibo ran through the process of the recent rehearsal in his mind, and after confirming there were no major issues, he discussed a few professional matters with Jiang Xiang. A little after 7, the Lingxi group went for a simple dinner together before heading their separate ways home. Upon arriving home, Weibo went into his study to revise his presentation script. It was past 10 by the time he finished. He turned his head and saw that classmate Xie had fallen asleep at her desk again. Weibo couldn't help but smile. How does this girl always fall asleep while studying? He reached out a finger and poked classmate Xie's soft, bouncy cheek. Flutter. Her eyelashes opened like 2 small fans. You're awake? Looking at the dazed and half-asleep classmate Xie, Weibo leaned over and scooped her up in his arms. Awake now, he smiled. From now on, just go to bed when you're sleepy. You don't have to wait for me in the study. Carry me. Xian Yuman's voice was hazy with sleepiness. Back to the room to sleep. His girlfriend was asking for a princess carry. What could Weibo do? Of course, he had to sweep her up and toss her onto the bed. So, the next step, Xian Yuman, having sunk into the soft, large bed, just rolled over and went back to sleep. Weibo. This wasn't classmate Xie style at all. Shouldn't there be a little of this, and then a little of that? Could it be that classmate Xie was too tired today and wasn't in the mood? Or did she think that he was too tired? Weibo analyzed the situation and concluded it was probably the latter. He was, in fact, a bit tired today. All right, then. He'd let this feigning sleep classmate, Xie, off the hook for today. After the live stream, tomorrow. The 22 ND. In order to allow more people to watch, the live stream was scheduled to start at 7:30 in the evening. Weibo spent almost the entire day on preliminary preparations and adjusting details. Xian Yuman stayed with him the whole time, offering guidance on camera positioning and speaking with the broadcast director for a long while. 7 in the evening. All the personnel involved in the live stream, the Lingxi staff, the Haida medical team, as well as Hui Jingxian and some members of the Makers Club, had arrived on site. At the same time, Professor Hong Quan, the dean of Weixin College at Peking University, whose main research is in brain-computer interfaces and neural engineering. Professor Zhang Yutong, a doctoral supervisor at Haida University who researches micro and nanorobotics and bionanomaterials. Professor Ku Yangping, the chief physician of neurosurgery at the Haida-affiliated hospital. And Zheng Xing, the head of Haiching's Strategic Emerging Industries Project and founder of Brain Leopard Tech, had all arrived in the observation room. Among them, Professor Hong was invited by Huashan Tech. Professor Zhang was Jiang Xiang's postgraduate supervisor. Chief Ku was Lu Chang's professional mentor, and Zheng Xing was invited by Hua Jingxian. With these heavyweights present, plus Jiang Xiang, there were a total of 5 experts in the observation room. Wei Bo engaged in a round of networking with the expert professors, and after exchanging contact information with all of them, he left the observation room to Jiang Xiang and went to the main site for final preparations. Returning to the set, Wei Bo felt a great sense of calm, seeing that classmates Xie and Hua Jingxian were already seated by the monitoring screens. With classmate Xie keeping an eye on things, he didn't have to worry about the director making random camera cuts. 7:20 p.m. Medical personnel wheeled an electric hospital bed onto the set. Lying on the bed was today's test subject, Deng Hanyuan. A man in his 30s, his body was secured to the bed with restraints, paralyzed from the neck down, with only slight movement possible in his head. But Wei Bo noticed his eyes. His face was gaunt, yet his gaze was exceptionally bright. In that instant, courage and conviction surged through Wei Bo. This was the reason he had wanted to enter the brain-computer interface industry in the first place, and it was the core of his belief. Lingxi was meant to help the countless people who were trapped, to bring blessings to countless families. Brother Deng, Wei Bo said to Deng Hanyuan, I'm Wei Bo, the head of Lingxi and the host for this live stream. During this process, if you have any discomfort or requests, you can tell me at any time. We are prioritizing your well-being above all else. Deng Hongyuan's eyes showed intense emotion, and he let out a faint sound of acknowledgement. His spinal injury had affected the nerves that controlled his breathing and vocal muscles, making even speaking extremely difficult for him. Wei Bo looked at Lu Chang and Yu Heguang standing at the control console, gave them a small fist pump, and mouthed, let's do this. Lu Chang and Yu Heguang both responded with gestures of their own. At that moment, they were all keenly aware that this experiment would determine not only the future of Lingxi, but also the future of this volunteer subject. Countdown, 3 minutes, the floor director shouted. It was only then that Wei Bo saw Cui Peng had also arrived and was standing next to the chief director. He looked at Wei Bai, his eyes full of encouragement. Wei Bai gave him a brilliant smile. The live broadcast team was found by Cui Peng, and it was also because of Cui Peng's efforts and guidance that the planning for this live stream went so smoothly. Cui Peng even handled the early stage publicity for the live stream with several platforms. When Wei Bai opened Bilibili this morning, he saw a huge promotional page on the homepage. 1 minute countdown. Finally, Wei Bai looked again at classmate Xie. Noticing his gaze, classmate Xie's small dimples appeared faintly. Her gaze was so focused, so full of trust. The moment their eyes met, Wei Bai felt a unique kind of strength. This was a strength that only those who fight alongside their partner can understand. Just like at this moment, he believed that even if something unexpected happened and he couldn't host, classmate Xie could immediately take his place and complete the live stream. This was his ultimate confidence and also his final emergency plan. Countdown 10 seconds. Today, at this moment, the time, the place, and the people were all perfectly aligned. 3, 2, 1, go live. The camera didn't cut to Wei Bai at first, but instead fell on Deng Hanyuan and the medical staff from Haida. The medical staff was speaking to Deng Hanyuan, encouraging him. Subtitles of introduction appeared on the screen, along with a pre-made short film. The short film included footage of Deng Hanyuan in the early stages of his injury, photos and videos of him in high spirits before the injury, and messages of care and blessings from his family and friends, expressing their anticipation for this experiment. Only after this did the director cut to Wei Bai's camera. Hello, internet friends and friends who are following neurorehabilitation. I am the head of Lingxi and also the host of this live broadcast, Wei Bai. Today, we will be conducting a live broadcast of the first non-invasive brain-computer interface clinical trial in Daxia. The goal is to help brother Deng Hongyuan use his mind to control this mechanical hand to perform actions such as making a fist, grasping, and typing, with the help of the Lingxi printing brain-computer interface technology developed by Lingxi Technology. The camera timely cut to the Lingxi console, a very futuristic-looking inkjet printer. Because the early publicity and promotion work was done so well, over 100,000 people had already poured into the live stream room. For a niche live broadcast, such a number was nothing short of terrifying. The bullet comments flooded the screen, scrolling extremely fast. So much so that the members of the Makers Club, who had been ordered by Hui Jingxian to help fill the live stream room with positive comments, had no opportunity to do so at all. Damn, spinal cord injury and quadriplegia. Are they really using a subject with such a severe condition? Making a fist is one thing, but they also want to type? They're bragging to the high heavens. Wei Bai's hosting personally? He really knows how to play. Say no more. The observation room is full of big shots. It seems all parties are paying close attention to this live stream. It successfully caught my attention. I'm camping out here tonight. If this can really succeed, does that mean I won't have to use a wheelchair anymore? Oh my God, can it really be done? I hope it succeeds. The camera zoomed in. A nurse was cleaning a certain area of Deng Hongyuan's scalp. We performed a 3D anatomical scan of Brother Deng's brain in advance to ensure the precision of the printing location, Wei Bai explained. The area the nurse is now cleaning is the region that controls the movement of the left hand. Chapter 505, Squeeze Tight Crush. In a moment, Lingxi will be printed here to capture the specific brainwave signals produced when the brain wants to perform a certain action. For example, if you want to make a fist, a specific area of the brain's motor cortex will have unique electrical activity. At this time, the Lingxi attached to the scalp can capture this faint activity and then translate it into commands to control the prosthetic limb. Therefore, this process requires Brother Deng to concentrate on imagining his own movements. The electric bed moved to the console. Lu Chong stood in front of the hospital bed, preparing to start the printing operation. He had thought he would be nervous, but when the camera was right in front of him and the patient was right before him, he calmed down instead. Shedding his usual unreliable image, he operated the machine with extreme seriousness, precisely printing Lingxi onto Deng Hongyuan's scalp. This ink is named Lingxi, which is our project's name and also our company's name, Wei Bai introduced. It will dry quickly, forming a very thin and soft conductive film that adheres closely to the human skin to achieve signal collection. This operation and explanation directly stunned the online viewers in the live stream room. What the heck, that's it. You just print it on, and that's it. Isn't this just sticking a thin film on the scalp? Can this really collect brain signals? Technology has finally developed to a point I can't understand. I've been saying holy crap the whole time. I feel like I'm watching a futuristic blockbuster. If this succeeds, how many people and families will it benefit? The discussion in the bullet comments was extremely heated, and the matter escalated quickly. The hashtags #LingxiLiveBroadcast and #Printable Brain Computer Interface instantly shot up the trending list. In just over 10 minutes, hundreds of thousands of people flooded into the live stream room, and the number of online viewers was already approaching 1 million. When the camera cut to the observation room, Wei Bai saw the live stream's online data and the bullet comments. The number of online viewers and the level of enthusiasm were even higher than he had imagined. He watched the bullet comments for a while, his gaze shifting to Deng Hongyuan. At this moment, Deng Hongyuan was trying hard to concentrate, imagining the movements, attempting to control the robotic arm. Wei Bai saw the tension in his head and the determination in his eyes. On the signal screen, the baseline fluctuated and many low-frequency, hard-to-identify waves appeared. The signal of motor intention was submerged within, making it difficult to discern. The nurse was constantly repeating the instruction. Clench your left hand. Clench your left hand. Wei Bai looked at his phone screen. At this moment, the screen was split in half. One half showed the nurse and Deng Hongyuan. The other half showed the observation room. In the observation room, several experts were discussing the situation in the lab. The background noise is quite significant. The energy change in the specific frequency band related to motor intention is very weak. For our algorithm to pick up this signal is as difficult as hearing a needle drop in a crowded market, Professor Hong said. Director Ke from Haida Affiliated Hospital added, training is necessary. It will be very difficult in the initial stages, and it demands immense perseverance and focus from the patient. Zhang Xing chuckled. Some things are theoretically sound, but implementing them is no small feat. Jiang Xiang glanced at him, about to retort, but then saw his teacher give him a reassuring look. Professor Zhang Yutong rarely spoke. As Jiang Xiang's master's thesis advisor, he watched more intently than the other professors and experts present, and he was more concerned about the success or failure of this experiment. Hearing Zheng Xing's words, he gave Jiang Xiang a reassuring look and then said slowly, "For now, the physical fit seems quite stable. To achieve this level of biocompatibility, we old folks have to admit we're getting old." Professor Hong chimed in with a laugh. "I am still very confident in the outcome of this experiment. I believe that with training, prosthetic control can be achieved." Zheng Xing smiled, but said nothing. Hong Quan had a deep collaboration with Huaxing Technology. It was expected that he would speak up for Lingxi. But to make such a definitive statement already, wasn't he afraid of embarrassing himself if the experiment failed? Little Jiang, Zheng Xing said, "Come and explain to me, is there a problem with your signal-to-noise ratio?" Undercurrents flowed in the observation room. The netizens in the live stream room watched, dumbfounded. "Even though I don't understand, I can feel the passive aggressiveness. Are the big shots really starting to fight right here on camera?" From what Professor Zhang and Professor Hong are saying, it sounds like the probability of success is high, right? Fun fact, Zhang Yutong is Jiang Xiang's teacher. Just looked it up, you're welcome. Is it going to succeed or not? This is killing me. I can't understand those wavy lines at all. Honestly, the fact that this thing can detect brain signals is already pretty amazing to me. Beside Deng Honyuan, Wei Bai was providing training guidance. "Brother Deng, clear your mind of all distractions. Your left hand is touching a ping pong ball. You feel its cool surface, and then you squeeze it hard." Deng Honyuan closed his eyes, his face contorted with concentration and effort. "Squeeze, squeeze, crush it, crush it." Veins bulged on Deng Hongyuan's forehead. Even his eyeballs seemed to be straining. Just then, on the signal screen, the waveform fluctuated dramatically. In the observation room, Director Ku was very excited. He's found a feeling. This is neuroplasticity. The bullet comments exploded in shock. "I'm sure I saw it right." The moment Wei Bai said, "Crush it," that waveform shot right up. "Holy crap, this thing looks unreliable, but seems like it might actually work." There are plenty of devices that can detect EEG signals. The key is whether it can actually achieve control. "Oh my God, I'm getting nervous." "Succeed, succeed, it has to succeed. Go, Deng Honyuan. Go, Deng Honyuan. Go, go." In the lab, Deng Honyuan was taking a break to relax. Wei Bai stood beside him and said with conviction, "Brother Deng, Lingxi just captured your intention to make a fist. A few more training sessions, and we'll succeed very soon." In front of the monitoring screen, only when Deng Honyuan began to rest, did Hua Jingxian let out a slight sigh of relief. It was only then that she realized her palms were slick with sweat. She picked up her phone and started typing to Xian Yuman. "Xian, do you think we can succeed?" "Man, definitely." "Xian, logically, I feel we will definitely succeed, but emotionally, I'm extremely nervous." She had poured an immense amount of effort into Lingxi. In a way, if Lingxi succeeded, she would succeed. "Mun, Xian, sweetie, are you genuinely calm or just pretending?" "Mun, pretending." Very confident, but very nervous. Although he knew that some necessary efforts had been made and was very clear about the maturity of the Lingxi technology, seeing the little turtle standing next to the test subject in front of him, he couldn't help but feel nervous. This was his painstaking work, the career he truly wanted to pursue. So, even if he told himself 10,000 times that it would definitely succeed, he was still very nervous and worried. Too nervous. Xiao Ying stared at the computer screen, her palms sweating from nervousness. He has already been trained 5 times. Just now, the expert in the observation room said that such mental intensity is a huge drain for a paralyzed patient. Can Deng Honyuan hold on? If he can't hold on, will this live broadcast be a failure? Just now, the wave fluctuated so much, the guests in the observation room were very excited, and even the one surnamed Zheng didn't argue much anymore. It should be close to success, right? Just a little bit more. Brother Deng, you can do it. Hold on. On the bullet screen, many people were already impatient. It seems like it's not working. The patient's face is pale. Is this going to work or not? If the technology isn't mature, don't come out and do a live broadcast. The whole world is watching. It's embarrassing. I told you this wasn't reliable, right? It's like a fairy tale, and they dare to live broadcast it. This world is really a huge amateur show. Xiao Ying was furious, her hands typing furiously to refute. Didn't you hear the experts say the success rate is extremely high? What contribution have you made to the country and the people? All you know is how to blabber on with a keyboard. Being able to detect motion signals is already very good. Okay? This means that with a few more training sessions, it will definitely succeed. You call everything an amateur show. I think you're made of straw, a thing with 4 limbs, but no brain. Xiao Ying, who had honed her efficiency over the years of chasing stars and fighting with rival fans, typed her retorts extremely fast. For a moment, she was immersed in the emotion and rhythm of arguing, unable to extricate herself. It wasn't until the screen was filled with "holy shit" that she came back to her senses. Then she stared blankly at the screen and typed a string of "holy shit." A large green-backed dialog box popped up on the signal screen with black bold font on it. Fist clenching intention detected. Xiao Ying stared blankly at the screen. She saw the silver mechanical hand placed on the stand, slowly, bit by bit, one finger at a time, curling, bending, and clenching. It clenched tightly into a fist. It clenched, it really clenched. Holy shit, I'm crying. I'm fucking crying over a mechanical hand. I'm bawling, okay? Hardcore. Awesome. Brother Deng is a real man. No craniotomy, just a thin film, and it can actually achieve mind control. Comrades, a new era has arrived. Jiangxiang is awesome. Weibo is awesome. Everyone move aside. I'm going to kowtow to them. Xiao Ying stared blankly at the full screen of bullet comments for a long, long time. So long that Weibo had said a lot more. Deng Honyuan had gone to rest, and the main screen had switched to the observation room. Only then did she realize that her eyes had become wet at some point. She sniffled and sent a message to her best friend, Yanzi. Are you watching? It really happened. Min, there's hope. Ku Yangping stood up in excitement. Success. Deng Honyuan successfully controlled the fist clench with his mind. As the director of neurosurgery at Haida Affiliated Hospital, he had seen countless cases of paralysis from trauma, epilepsy, and ALS, and had witnessed the fragmentation of many families. No one knew better than him what the success of this technology represented. From now on, the field of neurosurgery was going to change. It was a good change. From the proposal of the brain-computer interface concept to the use of many invasive brain-computer interfaces, Ku Yanping had always looked forward to a new technological revolution, a new technology that could help patients at low cost and with high efficiency. Today, this technology has finally arrived. Lingxi, a great technology that will surely shock the world, a great company that will go down in history. Jiangxiang. Ku Yanping looked at this young man in his 30s. Once, when Jiangxiang was still studying at Haida, he often audited his classes. On behalf of Deng Honyuan, and on behalf of the tens of thousands of people like Deng Honyuan, thank you. Jiangxiang was so flustered he didn't know where to put his hands. His long-cherished wish for many years had been fulfilled, and the excitement in his heart was beyond words. But he was not a person who was good at handling such situations, so he could only smile awkwardly and say a few polite words like, "It's what I should do." It was Zhang Yutong who saw his students' excitement and nervousness and took over the conversation with Ku Yanping. He has been working on this since his university days, countless days and nights. The stability of the signal, the closed loop from intention to action, this matter is finally a success. But this is only the first step. In the future, we still have many difficulties to overcome together. Ku Yanping took off his thick glasses. Such talent, such technology, we will definitely help if we can. Hong Quan made a similar promise. For a moment, his feelings were mixed, but they eventually turned into a heavy sigh. Old Zhang, I envy you. The words were not explicit, but everyone present understood. He was envious that Zhang Yutong had a student like Jiangxiang. Zhang Yutong made no secret of his pride, repeatedly explaining in simple terms how difficult it was to demonstrate this material, and how much effort Jiang Xiang had put in. At this moment, Hong Quan's gaze had long since fallen on Wei Bai, who was resting. Are you happy studying at Haida? If you're not happy, you could transfer. If you don't want to transfer, do you have any plans to pursue a master's or a doctorate? He hadn't accepted any graduate students in recent years, but if Wei Bai wanted to study, he would definitely apply to the university for a spot for him. What a good kid. It would be great if he could be a student and marry his daughter on the side. Thinking of this, Hong Quan's gaze shifted to Siem Yuman. Alas, the daughter of a capitalist is more cunning. She made her move early and secured him. What a pity, what a pity. Hong Quan reluctantly withdrew his gaze, thinking to himself that even if he couldn't be his son-in-law, he could still work hard to make him his student. When the time comes, he'll have to be on guard against those old guys from Haida trying to steal him away. Wei Bai was resting after a round of interactive lucky draws. He sat with Siem Yuman. You look at me, I look at you, and the two of them smiled at each other. Hua Jingxian made a can't-stand-you-two face and moved her stool far away from them. Wei Bai was able to get a little bit of space for the two of them amidst his busy schedule, and both his body and mind got a short rest. Little turtle. Classmate Xie, I'm so happy. Classmate Xie, me too. Little turtle. But I can't relax. I still have to do the grasping and writing next. Classmate Xie, it will definitely be a success. Little turtle. Brother Deng is very strong and has great perseverance. Classmate Xie, you are also very strong, have great perseverance, and are amazing. Little turtle, hee hee. Wei Bai chatted with Siem Yuman for a while, and his surging emotions relaxed slightly. He looked at Jiang Xiang in the observation room, and at Lu Chong and Yu Hugwang at the console. On their faces, he saw the same surging emotions and relaxation. Years of hard work had condensed into that clenched fist. Everyone must be very happy, very proud, and at the same time, very tired, right? After today, everyone must be forced to rest, especially Jiang Xiang, who had almost evolved away the need for sleep. Of course, and himself. Celebrate well, and then rest well with classmate Xie. But, for now, the live stream is not over yet. Before stepping back in front of the camera, Wei Bai glanced at the live streams backstage. At this time, the number of online viewers had actually exceeded 1 million. With the experience of a successful fist clench, this time, Deng Honyuan only trained 3 times before successfully grasping a bottle of mineral water. After that, after a 20-minute rest, they began the most difficult part of this live stream, controlling the robotic hand to type the character I on the keyboard. For a normal person, this couldn't be simpler. But to control the robotic fingers with one's mind to find the corresponding keyboard position and press it down is a very difficult process. In this process, Deng Honyuan needs to press W first, then O, and finally 1. Only after completing all 3 actions can the character will be typed. Several experts in the observation room were uncertain about this challenge. Controlling a single action with motor imagery is completely different in difficulty from continuously controlling a fine trajectory. The latter requires continuous spatial and temporal control, and there's a lot of interference in the EEG signals. Mr. Jiang, have you tried this action before this live stream? Zheng Xing asked. Jiang Xiang nodded. Both Wei Bai and I have tried it, and succeeded. Compared to me, his attention is more focused. After an hour of training, he can type complete sentences. Zhang Xing, just because Mr. Wei can do it doesn't mean a paralyzed patient can do it. Don't you think so, Mr. Jiang? Jiang Xiang. As long as you persist in training, you can do it. Zheng Xing was being sarcastic again, and the audience in the live stream loved to see it. Is there something wrong with Zheng Xing? He just knows how to argue. I get it. They're in the same field. Looking forward to him being proven wrong. Looking forward to him being proven wrong. You just clench your fist. And now you want to type? Aren't you taking too big of a step? Yeah. Actually, the live stream is already a success at this point. There's no need to do the typing. The risk is too great, right? As a fan of Chun Mao, a family fan of Macao culture, and a fan and fellow townsman of Wei Bai, Xiao Ying's heart was about to jump out of her throat from nervousness. Success? It must be a success. Otherwise, those keyboard warriors will have something to complain about again. But can this really succeed? Although not in a related field, Xiaoling was a graduate student after all. Hearing the words of the experts in the observation room, she understood very well the vast difference in difficulty between making a fist and typing. She had also researched related materials. Currently, there wasn't a single case in the world of a non-invasive brain-computer interface controlling typing. Moreover, the training time in the live broadcast was very short, and the success rate could likely be affected by many factors such as training duration and the subject's condition. Even so, they were going to attempt this action on camera in a live broadcast watched by millions. This company, Lingxi, was truly audacious, especially Wei Bai. He stood right in front of the camera next to Deng Honyuan, going through this process with him. He looked so calm and relaxed, as if he were recording a college student's vlog. My God, how could a person's mental fortitude be this strong? Xiaoling admitted to herself that, even as a spectator, her heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys were trembling with nervousness. Could this really succeed? Brother Deng, are you ready? Wei Bai smiled. See that W key? You have an invisible finger in front of you, starting from your brain, moving slowly and precisely above that W. Then press down. The command was given. The waveforms on the signal screen instantly became incredibly complex and chaotic, with fluctuations of various frequencies intertwining. Even the netizens who couldn't understand the waveforms knew that this was a messy signal. Oh my God, what is going on in that brain? You think you only have one thought in your brain, but who knows how many stray thoughts are hidden beneath it. Holy crap, the screen is full of noise. It's completely uncontrollable. Go, Brother Deng. Go, go, go. In the observation room, seeing the signal screen, the several experts also held a relatively pessimistic attitude. There's too much interference. The command for spatial movement is completely submerged in attention fluctuations. Is Yu Heguang performing noise reduction? Is he trying to suppress signals from non-target areas? But the main signal is too weak. I don't think it's very meaningful to do so. Jiang Xiang, however, was very calm at this moment. When Wei Bai and I first started training, the signal screen was also like this. Therefore, I believe there is no problem with Lingxi's product. As long as there's training, a great deal of training, the goal can definitely be achieved. Throughout the entire observation process, he had spoken the least, but when he did, he was so certain. Zhang Yutong looked at his prize student, then at the calm Wei Bai on the scene, and said, since he could successfully make a fist, then theoretically, with enough training and a strong will, typing can certainly be achieved. Zheng Xing smiled and said nothing. This old fellow was starting to spout nonsense with his eyes wide open just to help his student. He was equating making a fist with typing, without mentioning the complexity of signal acquisition, the interference of various factors, or the stability of the materials at all, especially the stability of biological materials. Yes, Jiangxiang's paper was published in a top journal, but academia and technology are two different things. Was Lingxi's technology really stable enough? From the signal presented during the fist-making just now, Zheng Xing felt that Lingxi was still a ways off from Brain Leopard Technology's invasive brain-computer interface. On site, Wei Bai and Deng Honyuan were conducting their third training session together. Brother Deng can already control the robotic arms movement, Wei Bai said to the camera with a smile. So, are we far from pressing the W? In fact, when making the plan for the live broadcast, they had communicated with Deng Honyuan and his family. Should they only perform the actions of making a fist and grasping, or should they challenge typing? Deng Hongyuan's family expressed that they wanted to challenge typing. This was Deng Hongyuan's personal will. This plan was fraught with risk. Lingxi had several rounds of communication with Huasheng and the Haida affiliated hospital before finally deciding to respect Deng Hongyuan's personal will. And today, after interacting with Deng Honyuan and completing most of the live broadcast together, Wei Bai believed that Deng Honyuan was a person with extremely strong willpower, a person worthy of respect. Perhaps it was precisely because of this that the Haida-affiliated hospital had chosen him from among the many applicants to complete this live broadcast. The robotic arm hovered over the keyboard. Deng Hongyuan's eyes flew open. He no longer imagined any virtual finger, but stared intently at the index finger of the mechanical right hand. That was his finger. That was his finger. He wanted to press W. He wanted to type. Movement intent detected. Click intent detected. Click. The W was pressed down hard, then quickly sprang back up. The entire scene, including the observation room, suddenly fell into a deathly silence. Everyone held their breath, looking at the laptop screen. On it, in a blank document, within the input method interface, a single W is stationary. Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap, I've got goosebumps all over. Oh my god, did you hear the sound of that mechanical finger landing on the keyboard? Oh my god, I'm in awe. Congratulations, Deng Honyuan. Congratulations, Lingxi. After successfully pressing W, the following O and 1 were just a matter of time. Even so, the audience in the live stream was still on edge. If he hadn't pressed that W, it would have been understandable for the typing experiment to fail. But the most crucial step had already been taken. If the O and 1 couldn't be completed, it would be an incredible shame. Go, Brother Deng. You're almost there. May all the gods and Buddhas protect him. You have to succeed. This humble devotee is willing to donate 10 pounds of her own flesh to pray for the experiment's success. At this moment, Deng Honyuan was resting, while Weibo was hosting an interactive lottery on the stream. Seeing the comments, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Everyone, click the lucky bag in the top right corner. There's only 1 minute left until the draw. Although the atmosphere was tense, Weibo stuck to the original plan of holding the lottery and interactive sessions, both to lighten the mood and to keep the stream active. The prizes were practical as well, all good quality daily necessities. After the lottery, Deng Honyuan began a new round of attempts. With the experience of pressing W the first time, it now only took him a little over 10 minutes to successfully press O. The live stream chat erupted in cheers again, as if they were watching a child learn to walk. Brother Deng is a badass. I only just realized from the introduction that Brother Deng is a veteran. Holy crap, for real? No wonder he's so incredible. A salute to the soldiers of Daxia, and a salute to Brother Deng. At this moment, Deng Honyuan was making his final effort. According to the plan, he was supposed to control the robotic arm to press 1. But after Weibo gave the instruction, Deng Honyuan tried several times, and the signal remained chaotic. What's happening? Is Brother Deng tired? Maybe he should get some sleep. I'll just wait here until he wakes up. Yeah, I'm getting tired just watching. This looks so exhausting. Honestly, isn't the experiment already a success at this point? Pressing 2 keys is basically the same as pressing 3. Exactly. I hereby declare the experiment a success. Brother Deng is awesome, and Lingxi is great. The bullet comment screen was a sea of harmony. In the observation room, however, the experts found it strange. Whether pressing a letter or a number, the brain's thought process should be the same. He had already succeeded twice. Logically, the third attempt shouldn't produce such a noisy and disordered signal. Zhengxing looked at Jiangxiang. Lingxi's stability still needs improvement. Jiangxiang frowned. Indeed, although they had used various methods to resist interference, the experiment could still be affected by many factors. With Deng Hongyuan's brain signals appearing so chaotic now, which factor was the main cause of the interference? Was his cerebral cortex overexcited because the experiment was on the verge of success? If that's the case, Jiangxiang's expression darkened. Could it be that the final step was truly impossible to complete? He knew rationally that with this level of completion and effectiveness, today's livestream was already a massive success. But they were just one step away, just one more step, and they could prove to the world that Lingxi was the most stable and controllable of all existing non-invasive methods, the one most worthy of promotion and large-scale investment. Just one more step, and this livestream would be perfect. He, Weibo, and the entire team could finally go celebrate with peace of mind. It's too early to draw conclusions about stability, Hong Quan said, staring at the screen. Besides, from what I understand, there's still a considerable gap between all other existing non-invasive methods and Lingxi. Zhengxing smiled. Professor Hong is right. Hong Quan was a titan of the industry. Zhengxing wasn't stupid enough to go out of his way to offend him. As for his skepticism toward Lingxi today, it could only be said that their positions were different. He had to find fault even where there was none. In his heart, however, Zhengxing admired the Lingxi team. Daring to invite him meant they were prepared to be questioned. If that last key really couldn't be pressed today, it would truly be a shame, Zhang Xing thought. With no progress on the final key, the hashtag Lingxi livestream last key hashtag quickly shot to the top of the trending charts. It had become a matter of national interest. Countless netizens flooded the live stream, awaiting the final result. Weibo stared at the signal monitor, thinking it over, before signaling for the camera to cut completely to the observation room. After telling Deng Honyuan to rest, Weibo walked over to Yu Heguang and proposed a change of plan. After typing W and O, pressing either one, where the spacebar will complete the character for what? So, is it possible that the noisy signal from Deng Hongyuan's brain is because, according to his own typing habits, he should be pressing the spacebar right now? Yu Heguang's eyes widened. Then he nodded heavily. There is indeed such a possibility. The electrical signals generated by the brain's neurons are inherently very weak. The body's own muscle activity, electrocardiogram signals, and more can all cause the effective signal to be drowned out. Therefore, the hypothesis Weibo proposed was highly probable. Change of plans, Weibo decided instantly. The last key, change it to the spacebar. This idea and message were immediately relayed to Deng Honyuan himself and to the observation room. Zhang Xing was very surprised. This 20-year-old CO is really bold. If they wrapped it up now and into the live stream, they could still attribute the failure of the last keystroke to Deng Hongyuan's personal physical strength and willpower. But if they changed the plan on the fly and the signal screen showed a different status, the situation would become much more complicated. Zhang Yutong looked at his student. Jiang Xiang, what do you think? Jiang Xiang was very firm. Listen to Weibo. Change the plan. The final keystroke was changed from 1 to spacebar. When Weibo announced the change in the live stream, the chat exploded. They just worked so hard for so long just to press a 1, and now they're changing the key? Don't they have to start all over again? I don't think it has much to do with that. Brother Deng must be tired. Jiang Xiang said to listen to Weibo. That's scary. Weibo is only a freshman. What technology does he know? It's already good enough at this point. End the stream quickly and let Brother Deng rest. Through the large screen, Weibo saw the numerous comments in the live stream chat. It was true. Ending now would already be a pretty good result. But being short, this one step made a world of difference in the completeness of the word success. Weibo knew that he, Jiang Xiang, and the entire Lingxi team did not want to stop at this step. Deng Honyuan didn't want to stop at this step either. The fluctuations on the signal screen indicated that Deng Honyuan was unwilling to give up. He wanted to type out that complete character for I. The test subject himself wasn't giving up, so why should he? Let's do this. The final battle. Weibo fixed his gaze on Deng Honyuan. Brother Deng, you can do it. The veins on Deng Hongyuan's forehead bulged. The robotic hand, trembling and unsteady, moved clumsily above the keyboard. The entire venue, everyone held their breath, their attention riveted on that robotic hand. Movement intent detected. Click intent detected. Click. Almost at the same instant, the recognition box popped up on the signal screen. The sound of a key press, clearly transmitted through the audio equipment, exploded in everyone's ears. And at that moment, on the computer screen, the input method interface disappeared as the spacebar was pressed. On the blank document, only a flashing cursor and a single character remained. I. In the observation room, Ko Liangwen shot up from his chair in excitement. He did it. He really did it. What does this mean for patients with high paraplegia? What does this mean for ALS patients? As a frontline doctor, no one understood the profound significance of Lingxi better than he did. For paralyzed or disabled patients, the loss of bodily control represented an erosion of dignity. And Lingxi could allow their will to be directly translated into actions in the external world. They could regain the ability to act on their own initiative. Medicine is not just about keeping people alive. It should be about letting them live with dignity. This was an issue that had long been discussed in the field of brain-computer interfaces, and now Lingxi had done it. Proactive interaction, autonomous expression, functional reconstruction, and even reintegration into society. Ko Liangwen could already foresee the shockwaves this would send through the entire medical community. And the Haida affiliated hospital, as the host of this live stream, would become a pioneer leading this technological revolution. Zheng Xing could no longer sit still. The experiment was a complete success. Lingxi's momentum was unstoppable, its business model clear. It would undoubtedly and rapidly become the leader in the domestic and even global non-invasive field. In the face of such a wave, Now Technology had to quickly establish a cooperative relationship with them, not an adversarial one. Fortunately, he had some connections with the Hua family and also had a large amount of data and successful experience on hand. He had to ask Hua Jingxian to connect them later. He needed to treat Wei Bai and Jiang Xiang to a meal and have a good, long chat. The hand with which Zhang Yutong was holding his glasses was trembling. As Jiang Xiang's professor, he was keenly aware of the effort and sacrifice Jiang Xiang and the entire Lingxi team had made, and he knew very well how important this live stream was for Jiang Xiang personally and for Lingxi. He wanted to say something, but in the end his throat felt as if it were blocked. He only patted Jiang Xiang's shoulder. Good, good, good. Jiang Xiang's eyes were a little moist, but he broke into a wide grin and said, "We succeeded." So many years, so many setbacks, so many times he had wanted to give up. The doubts, the funding difficulties, the rejected papers, the ethical reviews. Finally, it was a success. Through the glass of the observation room, he looked at Yu Haguang, at Lu Chong, at all his colleagues. We succeeded. All the times they had fought side by side flashed before his eyes like a revolving lantern. Finally, the image settled on the young man, who was smiling as he gave his concluding explanation. Jiang Xiang suddenly burst into silent laughter. To travel 1,000 miles, not sparing one's life, for a single day of success. Although he knew this was just the beginning, he knew even more clearly that Lingxi's most difficult moments were over. The resentment of his unfulfilled ambitions was swept away, and his heart surged with excitement, leaving him invigorated. If it weren't for the camera pointed right at him, he would have roared with laughter, tears, awe, and ecstasy. Shouting covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face as she watched the screen filled with bullet comments. It succeeded. He typed it out. He really typed it out. My mom is asking me why I'm screaming, my God, Deng Hongyuan is incredible. Lingxi is incredible. I offer my knees. Me. The bullet comments were more frantic and intense than ever before, with countless red characters for me, forming a passionate, scorching wave across the screen. Me. With a trembling hand, Xiaoing also typed a me. Me. She didn't know why Lingxi had chosen this character back then. But at this moment, it seemed no other character was more meaningful, more representative of the spirit of Lingxi and Deng Hongyuan than this me. A single character, me. Although I am experiencing physical suffering, I still have not given up on me. Not only have I not given up on me, but they have not given up on me either. They helped me, allowing me to become me in a brand new way. Today, I am me again. The screen full of me characters burned in Xiao Ying's heart like a blazing fire. Minmin, are you watching a live stream? Did you see it? What Deng Honyuan can do, you can do too. New technology is born. You too can become me again. Me. Deng Hongyuan stared motionlessly at the character for a long, long time, and 2 streams of turbid tears flowed down his face. He did it. He really did it. He had typed a character. This meant he could communicate with the outside world, that he was a person again, not just a conscious piece of flesh. A once able-bodied, normal person living half-dead like an animal. In what torment, what a humiliating state. So many times he had just wanted to die. But he couldn't even die. He could only cling to a wretched existence, day after day watching his parents' faces and eyes grow older, duller, and more hopeless. He accepted one relative and friend after another coming to see him, holding his hand and saying that things would get better. But would they really get better? He knew they wouldn't. He would slowly rot, die, decay, and become a pile of sludge. He had lost hope long ago. He only wished he could die quickly and no longer be a burden to his aging parents. Until that day, his attending physician called his father and said there was a clinical trial project that might make it possible to control mechanical limbs with his mind. He signed up without a second thought. At that time, he thought that clinical trials had a chance of death. By participating, maybe he could finally die. However, the situation was completely different from what he had initially expected. He had actually used his mind to control that mechanical arm and type a character. Next, he would type a second and a third character. Did this mean he didn't have to die? He might even have a whole new life. At the scene, everyone was cheering for him, but no one could truly understand what this meant to him. He struggled to turn his head, his throat straining to open, his lips trembling, letting out a he sound like an old bellows. Wei-Bai understood. He was saying, "Thank you." Wei-Bai grinned at him, revealing 2 rows of bright white teeth. He was actually quite calm. All right, maybe a little excited, but only a little. More than excitement, it was a sense of relief. To be honest, it had been too tiring before. Carrying the expectations of so many people, afraid of making a mistake that would ruin Jiang Xiang's years of hard research, and also afraid of not living up to student Xie's investment and trust in him. Now, the experiment was a success. A huge, indescribable sense of relief swept over his entire body. He felt as if all the noisy cheers, all the people and things were covered by a background filter, and he was watching it all like an outsider. This, he thought, must be the feeling of the dust settling. Chapter 510. What to order? At 9 p.m. on July 22nd, #me climbed to the #1 spot on Weibo's hot search and Douyin search list. In addition to the millions of viewers in the live stream room, countless people clicked on this tag to watch related short videos and explanations. For a time, Ling Si, Wei-Bai, Jiang Xiang, and Deng Honyuan all became hot topics of discussion, and even Chun Mao and Zhou Yan were carried onto the hot search. Lu Cheng, Yuli held a glass of red wine, watching the live stream on her projection screen on one side and the hot search list on the other. It had to be her. The first time she lit incense and saw Wei-Bai, she knew he was the one. Back then, the 2 kids were still in high school. Standing together, they were such a perfect, eye-catching match. Later, Wei-Bai started Mu Chao culture and did an excellent job, which also gave her new ideas about industrial transformation. Her son-in-law was handsome, considerate, sensible, outstanding, and capable. He also had a particularly good relationship with her precious daughter. At this point, she was already very satisfied. She truly hadn't expected that her daughter and son-in-law would join a makers club in college, and that this Lingxi they invested in and developed would take off so quickly. This was completely different from Mu Chao culture. It had world-leading technology, supported by vast amounts of data and connections. Under such circumstances, Lingxi's future development was immeasurable. To put it dramatically, a high-tech company like Lingxi, with a practical application and a commercial model, could possibly surpass a behemoth like the Xie Corporation within the next 10 years. Last year, on her precious daughter's birthday, when they officially announced their relationship, what were the expressions on the faces of those wealthy and powerful families? They said that by dating someone from a small place with no background, Man was lowering her status. They said Man was a lost cause, hopelessly in love, and would definitely be kicked out of the line of succession for the Xie Corporation. And now, looking at the trending topics one by one, and the netizens' extreme praise for Wei-Bai, Yuli felt incredibly smug. At the same time, there was a tiny bit of annoyance. Sai, her son-in-law, was too outstanding. There wasn't much help she, as his mother-in-law, could offer in the future. However, this wasn't actually a difficult problem to solve. She might not be capable enough, but she still had an older sister. Right, sister? Yuli, sis, did you watch the live stream? Yue no. This made Yuli even happier. Based on her understanding of Yue, this clearly meant she was watching it right now. Capital City, Xie Corporation headquarters. Top floor. On the enormous curved screen, the scrolling bullet comments almost completely obscured the figures of Wei-Bai and the guests in the observation room. Yue sat facing the screen, a cigar held between the thumb and forefinger of her right hand. Blue smoke curled upwards, drifting past her face. She unhurriedly tapped the ash with her finger. "Turn off the bullet comments," she said. Secretary Zhu immediately complied. "What did you see?" Her voice was calm and clear. Secretary Zhu answered tentatively. "Professor Hong seems to be very fond of Wei-Bai. He subtly invited Wei-Bai to study at Peking University." Yue, that's not what I'm asking. Secretary Zhu immediately understood. Wei-Bai is exceptionally outstanding. Both he and Lingxi possess enormous commercial value. With Huaxing Technologies' collaboration with Lingxi, their medical device factories will have a continuous stream of orders for interactive equipment. At the same time, the global capital market will go crazy for Lingxi. Yue, Secretary Zhu already understood her meaning. Should I contact the core members of the Strategic Investment Department, the Medical Business Division, and the Legal Department for an online meeting now? Yue suddenly smiled. Why bother with all that? You'd be better off contacting Wei Bai's parents to prepare for the engagement. As these words fell, Secretary Zhu's eyes nearly popped out of her head. Engagement? To what? An engagement, but CM Yuman and Wei Bai are only freshmen in college. Then it dawned on her. To Yu Wei in the capital market, a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship wasn't enough to deeply bind Wei Bai to the Xie Corporation. An engagement was completely different. Once they became an engaged couple, the economic value they could realize would be far greater than that of a typical marriage alliance between powerful families. Moreover, given the social significance and commercial value that Lingxi had now demonstrated, even the two elders of the Xie family wouldn't be able to find a reason to object. Once the engagement was successful, many of the fair-weather followers within the Xie Corporation would reevaluate their positions. At that point, Yu Wei would complete her reshuffling of the corporation's power structure. This engagement had to happen. If they didn't get engaged soon, some of the bolder ones might just try to snatch him away. President Yu, shouldn't we discuss this with the young lady first? Secretary Zhu asked cautiously. Yu Wei extinguished the cigar in her hand. You inform Yu Li. Let Yu Li handle this matter. You will provide support. Secretary Zhu felt a slight sense of relief. She had been afraid Yu Wei would make her responsible for arranging the young lady's engagement. This was too big of a matter. She didn't dare get involved. Providing support was good. After being a private secretary for over a decade, providing support was what she did best. Yes, Secretary Zhu replied. How is it already settled? Why was the whole screen celebrating wildly? The experiment wasn't even over yet. Finally, there was a Q&A and a prize draw session. This part was much more relaxed, but it still required one to be sharp and ready to respond. Deng Honyuan was wheeled back to his ward by the medical staff to rest, and Wei Bai left the laboratory and went to the observation room. The moment Wei Bai entered the observation room, Hong Quan's eyes were glued to him. Good, very good. Such a young leader of a flagship tech company was unprecedented, unheard of. Since he's managing a tech company, he'll surely pursue a master's degree, right? In the domestic field of brain-computer interfaces, who was more suitable to be Wei Bai's mentor than him? Hong Quan's calculations had already reached 3 years into the future, but Wei Bai, who had just finished his freshman year, was completely unaware. The atmosphere was relaxed at the moment, and Wei Bai also became cheerful and at ease. Congratulations, CEO Jiang. Wei Bai looked at Jiang Xiang and smiled. Jiang Xiang smiled back. Congratulations to you too, CEO Wei. Wei Bai sat down and picked a frequently appearing question from the bullet comments to ask. A netizen asks, does CEO Jiang have a girlfriend right now? Do you prefer older or younger women? Jiang Xiang hadn't expected Wei Bai to ask such a question right off the bat. His soaring, heroic mood from just a moment ago instantly became tense. No, I don't. Either is fine. Either is fine. Everyone in the observation room burst into laughter. Zheng Xing teased. Either is fine means neither is fine. Jiang Xiang hurriedly explained. Really, either is fine. Age isn't important. What's important is kindness. As soon as this was said, the live stream chat was filled with sympathy. He was really screwed over by that woman who started the rumors. I feel for him. A top-tier mogul's #1 requirement for a partner is kindness. I'm very kind. I meet the condition. May I ask when we can get married? The whole screen is asking about the dimple goddess, but Wei Bai chose to ask about Jiang Xiang's love life. Stop torturing the elderly. Wei Bai looked at the bullet comments. There were too many questions to answer every single one. After an emotional question to lighten the mood, he chose a second one related to Lingxi. Netizens are very curious. Lingxi is a combination of new biomaterials and mechanical limbs. Can be mass-produced and widely applied now. Jiang Xiang breathed a sigh of relief. I'll let CEO Wei answer this question. Wei Bai The core technology has been broken through, and we are initiating and advancing preliminary mass production. We are planning to build a clinical center jointly with the affiliated hospital of High University, and we expect to serve over 500 patients by the end of the year. In the first phase, which is this year, we will still prioritize the needs of those in urgent need. After that, we will consider more generalized demand. The bullet comments were full of praise. What is he saying? I only noticed how handsome he is. Are you kidding me? I'm actually listening to a college student talk about the development and vision of a unicorn enterprise in the industry. It looks like Jiang Xiang really only handles R&D. Wei Bai is the real boss of Lingxi. Jiang Xiang said in the alumni stories that he has no management skills, and Lingxi only took off after Wei Bai joined. I bow down. Look at his summer vacation, and then look at mine. Oh my God, if you hadn't said it, I wouldn't have even realized he's working a summer job. The strongest summer intern in history. The strongest summer intern in history flooded the screen. Wei Bai was a bit stunned looking at the bullet comments. How did the topic suddenly shift to this? But that's how the internet is. Just when you think you have complete control, new topics and trends emerge. On second thought, Wei Bai quite liked the title The Strongest Summer Intern in History. Having the word strongest was impressive enough, cool enough. The 15-minute interaction and prize draw segment quickly ended. At the end of the live stream, a long list of acknowledgments was displayed, including all the staff of Lingxi, Deng Honyuan, and the medical staff of the affiliated hospital of High University, and everyone who had helped Lingxi in this live stream. Naturally, this included Simp and Hua Jingxian. But Chui Peng didn't expect his name to be on it too. What had he done? Didn't he just help contact the live stream team, secure the platform, and manage public opinion a few times? Gosh, how embarrassing. The lab and the observation room were packing up. Wei Bai invited the professor guest from the observation room to his celebration. Zhang Yutong was still a bit hesitant, but Hong Quan agreed at once. Little Wei, we should take this chance to talk about the issue of your application scenarios. Zhang Yutong adjusted his glasses and glanced at Hong Quan. This old fellow had been up to no good all night. Even if Wei Bai pursued graduate studies in the future, he would definitely be his student, becoming a fellow disciple with Jiang Xiang. How could he possibly study under Hong Quan? Zhang Yutong, where are we eating? Ku Yangwen smiled. I'm starving. Zhang Xing, have you booked a place? If not, I have a few good recommendations. The group walked out as they talked. Simp and Hua Jingxian walked toward them. After greeting them, Hua Jingxian smiled. The minivan has arrived. I'll go with the professors. As for CEO Wei, she looked at Wei Bai with a teasing smile. Hua Jingxian had arranged the dinner, so Wei Bai naturally wasn't worried about the arrangements. Seeing her smile, he immediately smiled back. I'll go with my girlfriend. The professors and experts all smiled as they looked at the young couple. Only Hong Quan felt a pang of sourness. He had a deep partnership with Huashing Technology, so it was impossible for him not to know Simp. It was precisely because he knew Simp was clear about her beauty and family's power that his heart soured. In this day and age, there were plenty of students, but a good son-in-law was hard to pick. Such a fine young man had fallen into the hands of a capitalist with no way out. How could he not feel sour? If only his own young daughter could bring home a son-in-law like this. Alas, that fellow Xie was so unreliable, yet the daughter he had was clever. Watching the professors leave with Hua Jingxian, Wei Bai finally had a chance to speak to Simp alone. Tired? Simp took his hand. Really tired, Wei Bai said with a bitter melon expression. This live streaming thing is too draining. I have to do it less in the future. Then his face relaxed. But that moment of success was especially relieving. The feeling was so wonderful. I think I'll remember it for a lifetime. Her small dimples bloomed deeply. Me too. She had been so nervous, afraid that the slightest mistake would make a certain little turtle unhappy. Thankfully, everything was completed smoothly. When she pressed the final spacebar, she felt a comforting sense of relief. Relief for the little turtle, and happiness for him. Simp said softly, "You can rest tomorrow." The moment he heard the word rest, Wei Bai was no longer tired. Rest? I must rest, Wei Bai imagined grandly. I'm going to sleep until mid-morning every day, play games, and go out with classmate Xie. Sim Yuman, classmate Xie is last. Wei Bai immediately corrected himself. I'm going to sleep until mid-morning with classmate Xie, play games with classmate Xie, and then go out with classmate Xie. Her small dimples bloomed deeply. Talking, the two walked to the door and happened to run into Chui Peng. Chui Peng exchanged a few words with them and was about to leave. Wei Bai grabbed him. Where are you going? There's still a celebration banquet. Chui Peng paused, then said, Isn't it inappropriate for me to go to the celebration banquet? He was in the entertainment business. He wouldn't be able to get a word in, so he wouldn't join the bustle. Wei Bai, what's inappropriate about it? Brother Jiang knows you put in a lot of effort to clarify the previous rumors and for this round of publicity. He's been saying he wants to treat you to a meal. In this era, the importance of marketing and promotion was self-evident. Countless famous entrepreneurs personally engaged in marketing, delivering takeout, opening car doors for owners, live streaming every day. Under these circumstances, Chui Peng's contribution to Lingxi's great marketing achievements was indispensable. Although Lingxi had to pay Mu Chao a marketing fee, it was a friendship price, and the actual results far exceeded the expenditure. How would Jiang Xiang know of Chui Peng? Wei Bai must have told Jiang Xiang. Chui Peng knew Wei Bai's sincerity, and his heart warmed. He smiled and said, Where are we eating? Wei Bai, Cloud Dream Restaurant. The car I called is almost here. Let's go together. Chui Peng thought for a moment and nodded. Okay. Cloud Dream Restaurant was a very popular establishment in recent years, with a stylish, modern Chinese decor. Tonight, Hu Jingxian had booked the entire Peng Lai Run detached section of Cloud Dream Restaurant to celebrate Lingxi's hugely successful debut. The celebration banquet lasted until 1 in the morning. Wei Bai inevitably had to drink, but no one could force him to drink too much, so by the end, he was only slightly tipsy. Sim Yuman hadn't touched a drop of alcohol and called a car to take him home. By the time the two got home, showered, and lay in bed, it was already 2:30 in the morning. Sim Yuman wrinkled her nose. Now you really will have to sleep until mid-morning. Wei Bai pinched her nose. Sleeping until mid-afternoon is fine too. That evening, he had already spoken with Jiang Xiang and Yu Heguang. Let the media and public opinion fly. Let the capital and the upstream and downstream industries worry. Lingxi was going on vacation. Everyone, 5 days of paid leave. Chapter 512. Classmate Xie. Let's make it official. Although Wei Bai didn't clock in for work to begin with, this 5-day vacation gave him the feeling of a real holiday. For these 5 days, no one could make him work. His WeChat was flooded with messages from all sorts of classmates, friends, and relatives. Except for the people closest to him, Wei Bai didn't reply for the time being. He couldn't get back to them all. He'd deal with it tomorrow. Everything was to be dealt with later. What he needed now was rest. With the air conditioner set to 24 degrees, under a thick blanket, holding the soft classmate Xie, Wei Bai felt his soul had found peace. No, found a resting place. In short, he had finally truly relaxed. The two little figures lay close together, quietly for a while. Wei Bai suddenly lowered his head and placed a kiss on Sim Yuman's forehead. Sim Yuman, Wei Bai, I just wanted to kiss you. This feeling of having someone with you during the struggle and someone to share with in success was truly wonderful. He really liked classmates, yeah. Sim Yuman rested her head on his arm. Go to sleep. It was very late, and the little turtle was very tired. She wouldn't bother him tonight. That night, with the alarm clock turned off and their phones silenced, they slept exceptionally soundly. When they woke up, it was already 12 o'clock noon. Wei Bai lingered in bed, not wanting to get up. Classmates, Xie, let's order takeout. Sim Yuman completely agreed. What should we get? So the two of them huddled together to look at a food delivery app. Hamburgers, grilled meat over rice, bibimbap, rice noodles, dumplings malatang. After scrolling through, they had no appetite, but their stomachs were indeed growling. Wei Bai suddenly had a thought. Don't we have some luosafen at home? Sim Yuman, Then let's order some eggs. Fried eggs with luosafen, a perfect match, Wei Bai said, opening a grocery delivery app. What else do you want? Sim Yuman, luncheon meat, fish balls. Wei Bai, and some green vegetables. Oh, and we have to get a watermelon. Sim Yuman, lying beside him, asked, Do they have braised chicken feet? Weibai searched and found them. Overjoyed, he said, "Great. They even have the tiger skin kind. We have to get the tiger skin chicken feet." Simp, MHM. The two of them murmured to each other, order a bunch of things, and then lay back down peacefully, scrolling through short videos. After brewing overnight, the entire internet was now filled with clips from last night's livestream. Weibai, in particular, had been edited into countless variations. All sorts of video editors had spliced clips from his livestream last night with his previous video call with Chun Mao, adding the hashtag, the most epic summer intern ever hashtag. Every time a video of Weibai appeared, Simp would stop, watch the whole thing, and even open the comments to read them. This caused the app to push even more Weibai-related videos to her feed, and the comments underneath were getting more and more outrageous. Simp gradually became unhappy. When a girlfriend is unhappy, she emits a particular kind of aura. Weibai didn't need to see her expression to sense the shift in her mood. Why the sudden unhappiness? It must have something to do with the short videos. Weibai glanced at classmate Xie's phone screen. Huh, are they saying bad things about me in these videos? Simp, no. It was all good things, page after page of good things. Weibai patted her head. Then why are you suddenly upset? Simp, in the comments, they're calling you. Weibai, calling me what? Simp, humph. Weibai's eyes widened. Calling me humph? Simp bit her lip, moved closer to him, and whispered, hubby. Weibai froze completely. What did classmate Xie just call him? It couldn't be that word, could it? It really was that word. Eh. Inside, Weibai was screaming, tumbling, and covering his face. After a moment of excitement, he realized that classmate Xie was talking about the term they used for him in the comment section. How misleading. All right, let's get back to the matter at hand. He really couldn't control how the vast sea of netizens teased him. And in this situation, if he were to post something like, I have a girlfriend, please stop calling me hubby, he would most likely be ridiculed by the masses. So, how could he resolve this situation? Weibai quickly had an idea. Classmate Xie, let's make our relationship official. Previously, during the Supernova training camp finale, he and classmate Xie had already appeared as a couple. But the training camp hadn't captured the nation's attention like Lingxi had, and the Weibai of back then wasn't the household name he was now. Therefore, Weibai felt that didn't count as an official announcement. He and classmate Xie should have a formal, official announcement to let the whole world know that they were an incredibly well-matched and happy young couple. Make it official, of course. MHM. Her small dimples appeared faintly. Then how should we announce it? Her Weibo account was filled with little turtles, obviously not suitable for an official announcement. Weibai thought for a moment. When we eat later, how about we post a picture of our hands or our glasses clinking to my Weibo? The Weibo he was talking about was his official one, not the side account that collected daily videos of him and classmate Xie. Simp, of course, understood. MHM, she agreed. Post the picture. Make it official. After a thought, she added, I'll register for a new official Weibo account too. To make the announcement. MHM. Weibai smiled. I think you can just use that account full of turtles, classmate Xie. Simp, huh? Weibai. Anyway, the netizens won't know what it means. They'll just think it's cute. Simp, is it cute? Won't they find it creepy? Weibai. Of course not, it's very cute. A girl who likes to collect little turtle plushies is super cute. Okay? MHM. Simp decided quickly. Let's do that then. As long as her little turtle thought it was cute, that was enough. If the netizens found it creepy, well, she didn't care about anyone's opinion besides her little turtles anyway. Having decided to make their official announcement, they checked the delivery app again and saw the rider was only 10 minutes away. So, they very reluctantly got out of bed to wash up. After washing up, the building management happened to bring up the food delivery. Weibo checked it, took out 2 eggs, put the rest of the carton in the fridge, and put the half watermelon directly into the freezer. Luncheon meat, fish balls, baby bok choy, he said, carrying the ingredients he needed to the kitchen. Should we cook the tiger skin chicken feet too? Simp was already boiling water. Yes, and didn't we also order shrimp paste? Weibo found the shrimp paste at the very bottom of the plastic bag. Right, there's shrimp paste too. After putting the loasa fin on to cook, Siam started frying the eggs and pan-frying the luncheon meat. There happened to be 2 packs of loasafen left, which cooked up into a large, full pot. The aroma of the pan-frying luncheon meat quickly wafted out, making Wei Bo feel even hungrier. He turned on the TV in the living room, playing a show they both loved to watch while eating My Own Swordsman, and then brought the half watermelon out from the freezer. Soon, the loasafen, loaded with toppings, was ready. In the summer, loasafen and watermelon is the perfect combination. Want a Coke? Wei Bo asked. Siam, we have watermelon. I don't really feel like a soda. Wei Bo thought for a moment. Then we won't take a picture of our glasses clinking. Miss Xia, you sit here and eat the watermelon. I'll take a photo of your side profile. A relationship announcement doesn't necessarily need to have 2 people in it. One person appears in the photo, and the other is the photographer. Isn't that great too? A side profile photo, but she was wearing loungewear, and her hair was just casually put up with a single hairpin. Should she go change her clothes, do her hair? Siam thought about it and decided against it. This was fine. Otherwise, wouldn't an elaborate outfit look strange with loasafen and watermelon? Besides, this was the most genuine state for her and her little turtle. As Siam was still thinking, the spoon in her hand circled, scooped out a piece of watermelon, and brought it to her mouth. She was wearing plain-colored loungewear, with no makeup on her face, her hair casually pinned up, and no jewelry on her wrists. The bright red watermelon was being brought to her lips, creating a sharp color contrast with her fair skin. Combined with the pot of loasafen, 2 bowls, and a large half watermelon in the background, it created an image with an exceptionally fresh, summery feel. It was so beautiful. Wei Bo furiously pressed the shutter button, then quickly sat down beside his girlfriend. Siam turned to look at him, a hint of surprise still in her eyes. Got it, Wei Bo said with a smile, handing the phone to Siam. You look beautiful no matter how it's taken. Siam took the phone and saw several photos in the album of her side profile with the watermelon and loasafen. She nodded seriously. I have to admit, I really am beautiful. After taking the photos, they seemed to forget all about the important matter of the official announcement and focused completely on slurping their noodles. This tiger skin chicken foot is really good, Wei Bo said, spitting out a small bone. It's simmered so well, full of flavor. Siam, we'll buy it again next time. Wei Bo nodded. And have it with loasafen next time too. The announcement could wait. But the loasafen had to be eaten now. Steaming hot, loaded with toppings, followed by a bite of watermelon. It was pure bliss. The 2 ate slowly, occasionally discussing the show's plot, occasionally bursting into laughter. After they were full, Wei Bo rinsed the bowls and put them in the dishwasher, then returned to the living room to continue watching TV and eating watermelon. When I was a kid, I could eat half a watermelon by myself. Not anymore, Wei Bo said. Siam eyelashes fluttered. A small 3-gene one? Wei Bo, the kind where half of it is 5 or 6 gene. That's a medium-sized one, right? Siam, this half is 10 gene. Wei Bo exclaimed. No wonder it's taking us so long to eat, and there's still so much left. But watching the show and eating slowly, just passing the time, was so comfortable. When a familiar scene came on, Wei Bo picked up his phone and started composing a Weibo post. Should I pick this one? Wei Bo leaned closer to Miss Xia. Actually, every photo was more or less the same, but in this one, the tip of Miss Xia's nose was almost touching the watermelon, which looked very cute. Siam turned her head to look. In this photo, why did she look a little dopey? All right, she agreed. Dopey was fine, as long as little turtle likes it. Wei Bo happily uploaded the photo with the caption, finally able to have a slow, leisurely meal with my girlfriend, and tagged excellent egg fried rice. Excellent egg fried rice reposted it with the caption, so full. And just like that, the announcement was made. Afterward, neither of them paid any attention to the Weibo comments. They continued eating watermelon and watching TV, then both went back to bed for a wonderful afternoon nap. Miss Xia, I finally understand Zhou Yan's happiness, Wei Bo sighed. Eat and sleep, sleep and eat. Living like a carefree immortal, it's truly happy. Xia snuggled into his arms. It's happy for a day, and it's happy for 2 days, but after a while, you'd get bored. Weibo thought for a moment and smiled. That's true. What about you, classmates Xie? Do you also get bored? And Meichum, Simuman said, but not today, not tomorrow, and probably not the day after. Anyone who's been in a relationship knows that young couples love to talk nonsense, just for the sake of it. The two of them murmured some meaningless, repetitive things to each other and gradually closed their eyes. At that moment, the comment section on Weibo's Weibo had already exploded. Successful people eat river snail noodles too. This lunch is not very businesslike at all. One day he's a CEO, the next he's suddenly a college student. Rich people eat river snail noodles. I also eat river snail noodles. Therefore, I equals a rich person. The college couple vibe is too strong. Oh my God, the profile of the dimpled goddess is to die for. You can't even find someone this good-looking in the entertainment industry, can you? CM Yuman is truly beautiful, worthy of being our university's campus belle. I climbed over to the goddess's Weibo to take a look, and it's hilarious. Not a single photo of herself. It's all pictures of turtle dolls. Me too. I went through all her Weibo posts. She's been relentlessly posting turtle dolls for N years. You could tell she really loves them. All you see are the turtle dolls. I saw that 5 years ago. The goddess hung a Van Cleef and Arpels 4-leaf clover necklace on a turtle doll's neck. CM Yuman must be a super rich second generation. Weibo said in the alumni stories that Xie gave him $100 million to start his business. Holy crap, in the hundreds of millions, and her surname is Xie. Could she be the young lady of the Xie Corporation? Netizens are always more interested in gossip than in technology. Before long, photos of CM Yuman from some public events she had attended were all dug up. In the photos, she was draped in luxury goods, her posture cold and arrogant, without a trace of smile. Oh my God, she's actually the Xie family's young lady. Is this just ordinary rich? This is a powerhouse family. I've seen rumors before, saying that CM Yuman was chauffeured to school in a Maybach. Holy crap, the CEO of a rising high-tech company times the young lady of a top-tier powerhouse family. Am I watching an idol drama? No. Why is everyone getting so invested? Who hasn't been in a relationship in college? In the end, don't 9 out of 10 break up? Although Weibo is a badass. Don't these powerhouse families all prefer marriages between social equals? Wasn't there news a while ago that the Xie family's young lady was in a marriage alliance with the Qin family? That was probably CM Yuman's cousin, right? Yeah, $100 billion family. Dating is one thing, but I don't believe it when it comes to talking about marriage. But I think they're truly in love. Doesn't this photo mean it's an official announcement? Besides, when Chun Mao was on a live stream with her before, the goddess even called herself the boss's wife. The netizens discussed with great enthusiasm and genuine emotion, while Weibo and CM Yuman, with their phones on silent, slept soundly. At a little past 3 in the afternoon, the hashtag Weibo CM Yuman hashtag trended on the hot search list. The first reaction of the head of PR for the Xie Corporation upon seeing the hot search was to suppress it. But then, he remembered the recent series of changes within the group and the collaboration between Huaxing Technology and Lingxi Technology. A thought struck him, and he went to ask Secretary Zhu. Secretary Zhu's reply was full of meaning. With this kind of thing, the more you suppress it, the more the netizens will want to discuss it. Hearing Secretary Zhu's reply, the head of PR understood Yu Wei's attitude. He did nothing, and the hot search topic was allowed to ferment. Before long, Secretary Zhu called him, telling him to prepare for a public relations response. His heart tightened, thinking he had misunderstood the intention earlier. Unexpectedly, Secretary Zhu changed the subject and said, "Use the group's official accounts to claim our young lady." After a pause, Secretary Zhu added, "You can use a few more official accounts to interact a bit, ride the wave of popularity." The head of PR was greatly shocked. As an old guard conglomerate, the Xie Corporation had always maintained an arrogant stance in its marketing and publicity. In short, it had to have marketing, but it also had to have class. Now, President, you actually wanted the official accounts to get involved and participate in this kind of online carnival. What did this represent? It represented that President, you wanted to change the public image of the Xie Corporation. It also represented that some of the things the Xie Corporation had stubbornly held onto were truly about to be broken. The head of PR had long since chosen his side. After receiving the instruction, he acted quickly and the entire public relations department was instantly abuzz with activity. They didn't set an alarm, and it was almost 4 o'clock when they woke up. The miraculous thing was that when two people napped together, if one woke up, the other would certainly wake up soon after. Simp slowly opened her eyes and saw a certain little turtle playing on his phone. "What did you wake up?" Simp asked. Weibo pulled her into his arms. "Just now. Classmates, yeah. The netizens have found out your identity." Simp blinked her eyes. "Identity? What identity? The heir of a reclusive, ancient family? Or a student at a school of magic?" Weibo was amused by her. Classmates Xia's occasional little jokes were really cute. The young lady of the Xia Corporation, Weibo smiled. "And they've also dug up many of your old photos." He had just been busy saving the photos. In every photo, Xia was utterly smileless, as cold as an iceberg, a stark contrast to the Xia before him with her faint dimples. The air conditioning was on full blast. Simp, craving the warmth of his body, snuggled deeper into his embrace. She responded. As expected, she had never considered hiding her identity. What was there to hide about a so-called status like this? And she couldn't care less about what netizens thought. She picked up her phone to look. It's just a relationship. A marriage for a rich heiress like her is surely subject to family arrangement, right? Simm's face darkened, and she hit the report button. "I think it's true love. Didn't you watch the Supernova Finals?" When she said Lady Boss, you could clearly see the love. Simp smiled and gave it a like. There were too many comments. Simp scrolled through her own Weibo, then went to look at Weibo's. There were even more comments here. Simp went on a spree of liking and reporting. Seeing how intently she was reading the comments, Weibo smiled and said, "You don't have to pay attention to some of them. The internet was like that. People would say anything." Yesterday, Lingxi's clinical trial had been live-streamed in its entirety, and still, people were shouting impossible and it's fake. It was only natural that a match made in heaven like him and Xia would displease some people. Simp, although she agreed, her gaze landed on an ID named yogurt with strawberries. Among the many comments, this yogurt with strawberries was particularly harsh and had posted several in a row. What's the use of being good-looking if you have a bad character? Simp will show her true colors one day. How could a rich heiress like her be a kind person? Her viciousness and arrogance are etched into her very bones. Money corrupts a person, and Weibo is no longer the young man he once was. This tone, why did it feel so familiar? A glance at the location under the ID. Lucheng. Weibo followed her gaze. "What's wrong?" Her dimples appeared in a faint smile. "It's nothing. I just find it a little amusing, that's all. If it were in the past." She thought if it were in the past, she might have gotten angry and retaliated against this yogurt with strawberries. But now, she didn't care at all, because Little Turtle's love had given her a sense of security. Because compared to revenge, wouldn't complete disregard be more devastating? If seeing as happy makes you break down, then please, by all means, keep breaking down, Suya. After scrolling through Weibo for a while, the two leaned against each other, playing on their phones, just like many college students on vacation. Why did I think that? They were in fact college students on vacation, and so they whiled away the time until evening. The two of them casually threw on some comfortable clothes and went downstairs to find some food. The nearest night market, Haida Night Market, was closed for summer vacation, so they hailed a cab to a famous night market in Haicheng. There was a slight breeze tonight, making for a comfortable summer evening. Weibo held his girlfriend's hand as they walked and browsed. This long-lost feeling of normal life, the long-missed, lively atmosphere of the mortal world, felt so wonderfully comfortable. "I'm going to eat everything in this night market." Weibo boasted. Simp, me too. She could brag too. One order of stinky tofu with extra toppings, Weibo said. Weibo stopped at a busy stinky tofu stall and paid 10 yuan by scanning the QR code. Simp, who had never tried stinky tofu and couldn't stand the smell, ran to a neighboring stall to buy some freshly fried guabao roe. Weibo brought the stinky tofu over to the guabao roe stall. Just then, Simp's order of guabao roe was sizzling in the wok. Weibo took a bite of stinky tofu. No wonder this place is so popular. This stinky tofu is delicious. Simp ignored him, her eyes fixed on her guabao roe. Weibo said. You should be more adventurous. Take stinky tofu, for instance. How can you know if you like it if you don't even try it once? Simp figured it wasn't necessary to try everything in life. At the very least, she was absolutely never going to try stinky tofu. Weibo wasn't a paternalistic boyfriend, so when his persuasion failed, he just happily enjoyed the stinky tofu by himself. When the guabao roe was ready, filling the air with its sweet and sour aroma, Weibo's long wooden skewer swiftly stabbed a piece from his girlfriend's container. This guabao roe is authentic, Weibo said as he chewed. Simp was also very satisfied with the guabao roe. Guabao roe was delicious. Stinky tofu a hard pass. As it was their first time at this night market, they followed the principle of eating wherever the crowds were. The stinky tofu and guabao roe had been good choices, but they soon hit a dud with the huashi beef noodle soup. It had a strange, indescribable taste. After one bite each, they threw it into a trash can. Next, Weibo spotted some rolled cold skin noodles. This choice was a good one. The vendor was young, and the stall looked clean and hygienic. After sharing a cheese, taro paste, and salted egg yolk teriyaki, Weibo, who had vowed to eat his way through the night market, was already full. Simp, who had jumped on the bandwagon of wanting to eat her way through the night market, was now stuffed. At this point, looking at the various sights of the night market, their appetites vanished in an instant. Classmates, I think your phone is vibrating. Weibo heard the buzzing sound as they weaved their way out of the night market. Simp took her phone out of her small Chanel bag and saw a barrage of messages from Xian. Xian, have you seen Weibo? Xian, the Xia Corporation has lost its mind. Xian, what are you doing? Aya, check Weibo right now. Clutching her phone after leaving the night market, Simp replied to Xian. Man, looking now. Xian says the Xia Corporation is going crazy on Weibo. Simp said away as she calmly opened the app. Going crazy? That doesn't sound like the Xia Corporation style, does it? Weibo also opened Weibo and immediately saw the trending topics. Hashtag Simp, eldest daughter of Xia Corp, hashtag Xia Corporation official accounts online team, building hashtag online team building. What did that mean? Weibo tapped on the trending topic to take a look. He was stunned to see that the comments section under classmate Xia's official announcement post already had over 600,000 comments. It started when the official Weibo account of Xia Corporation's Ruihua Hotel reposted Simp's announcement. Immediately after, it posted a photo in the comments section of the announcement post. The photo showed a young Simp in a princess dress, posing in front of the Ruihua Hotel as a child. The caption read, "Our eldest daughter, all grown up." Instantly, this comment set the internet ablaze. The official account claimed her. Holy crap, she really is the Xia family heiress. Why would an official account repost an announcement like this? Are they acknowledging the eldest daughter's relationship? Ruihua is a luxury hotel brand. Is a social media manager insane from shipping this couple? Aren't they afraid of getting fired? The social media manager must have posted on the wrong account. Another worker is about to get fired. An official company account endorsing a relationship was unheard of. For a moment, netizens all assumed it was a mistake by the social media manager. Unexpectedly, shortly after that post, numerous companies under the Xia Corporation began appearing in the comment section of excellent egg fried rice. Xia's Meiwa Hotel. That's our eldest daughter. Xia's Cinema, Haiqing Financial Center branch. The eldest daughter often comes here to watch movies. Bet you're all jealous, aren't you? Xia's Baichang Mountain International Tourist Area. I miss the eldest daughter very much here at Baichang Mountain. Xia Sports. I hear the eldest daughter and CEO Wei enjoy playing badminton. Xia Microloans. Why is the eldest daughter eating river snail noodles? Is she short on cash? Our microloan service can provide you with funds. The netizens were dumbfounded by the sheer spectacle of countless previously unknown official accounts of the Xia Corporation popping up like mushrooms after a spring rain. Damn, what a show of force. This is a real heiress. All those celebrities in the entertainment industry with their fake rich family personas should come and see what a real wealthy family looks like. From the looks of it, the Xia family really supports this relationship. What's so surprising? Compared to a wealthy family, a young and successful talent like Weibo is the one who's a rare find. even if you search with a lantern. These two are genuinely a perfect match. I'm a green-eyed monster. I'm jealous, but I approve of this marriage. I'm also a green-eyed monster. I'm also jealous, and I also approve of this marriage. El Mayo, you bunch of clowns. With the CIA Corporation's official accounts taking this stance, do they need your approval? A handsome and talented man with a beautiful woman, a match of equals. It is the perfect fit. Can you all stop imagining dramas about arranged marriages between powerful families or lovers being torn apart? Have you been reading too many novels? Wei Bai stared, dumbfounded. Xiao Yuman was also quite surprised. It's fine, she said after a moment of thought. This must have been approved by President Yu. Wei Bai had already gotten used to how classmate Xie referred to her mother-in-law, sometimes as President Yu, other times as Auntie, and occasionally as Mom. Whether it was Mom or President Yu, the fact that she allowed so many official accounts to jump in and comment under the announcement post made Yu Wei's stance perfectly clear. Wei Bai was quite happy to have received his future mother-in-law's approval. Classmate Xie, does this mean our love is now certified by both families? Wei Bai said with a smile. Xiao Yuman chuckled lightly. MHM, so lucky. It's because I'm a little turtle that I've received these blessings and acceptance. Because I'm a little turtle, so many seemingly insurmountable problems seem to have resolved themselves with ease. This is what it's like to be with the right person, isn't it? I don't know when it started, but my life seems to have changed because of him. As for these official accounts, trying to ride the wave of popularity, their attitude was positive and full of blessings. Let them ride it, then. Yes. Xie Zhirui looked at the Weibo trending topics, and his vision went black. He nearly fainted. His precious baby was still so young. How could Yu Wei do this? How could she? It's just a relationship. Why make such a grand official announcement? Whose child makes an official announcement before they're even 20? Huh. He paced back and forth anxiously by the sea, forgetting all about surfing, and was about to book a flight back home. He had to go back. He absolutely had to. If he didn't go back now, his precious baby was going to be led down a terrible path. Xie Jiyu's good friend, Prince Charles of the Booth Empire, walked over carrying a longboard. Xia, Charles was a big fan of Grand Xia and spoke fluent Chinese. The waves are a bit big today. Xie Jiyu was in no mood to surf, but he was the one who had invited Charles out to have fun this time. If he had to return to the country on short notice, he definitely needed to explain it properly to Charles. Charles, I'm sorry, Xie Jiyu said. I have to go back to my country to deal with my daughter's relationship issues. Charles threw down his longboard, his eyes lighting up. Xia, did you just say deal with? Are you not satisfied with your daughter's relationship? Xie Jiyu frowned. Was Guibao's relationship having such a big impact? Even Charles knew about it. But why was Charles so excited? No, what did he mean by this? Oh, my goodness, yeah. Charles was visibly excited. I'll go to Grand Xiao with you, and I'll bring my daughter, Amelia. I watched the live stream. I really like that young man, and my precious Amelia also thinks he's very gentlemanly. Xia, I must ask you to help me connect them. You know, Amelia is a little sweetheart, the jewel of Booth. There's no girl more lovely than Amelia. Xie Jiayu's face darkened. When did he say he was dissatisfied? When did he say he was dissatisfied? He just didn't want this matter to be settled so quickly. Dating is dating, and an official announcement is an official announcement. If they announce it now, what if Guibao's feelings change in the future? But at this moment, looking at Charles's excited face, Xie Jiayu suddenly understood why Yu Wei had done this. Seeing that the Lingxi experiment was successful and a great enterprise was being born, everyone was getting restless, weren't they? Damn it, they were all just profit chasers. Unlike his Guibao, who only cared about pure love. Xie Jiayu felt that his friendship with Charles had come to an end. I'm going back to give him my blessing, he forced a smile. Children will definitely encounter many difficulties during their entrepreneurial period. I'm going back to see if there's anything I can do to help. Charles was very disappointed. Xia, if your daughter breaks up with Wei, you must tell me. He was very optimistic about Wei Bo and Lingxi. If only Grand Xia, like the Booth Empire, practiced polygamy, his Amelia would be very willing to have such a husband. This time, Xie Jiyu couldn't even force a smile. To hell with breaking up, who was he cursing? Barbarian land, crude, vulgar, immoral. The live broadcast of the Lingxi clinical trial today before had spread the name Weibo all over the internet, and today's official announcement made Weibo a permanent resident on the trending topics list. The sheer scale and intensity of discussions about Weibo and Simp on various apps were something Weibo himself had not expected. However, after becoming a celebrity, Weibo's life didn't actually change much. After returning from the night market, he was planning Xia's birthday and their first anniversary celebration. In 3 days, it would be Xia's birthday and also the first anniversary of their relationship. Weibo had prepared a gift in advance and needed to keep it a secret from Xia for now. Now, they were discussing where to celebrate the birthday and their first anniversary. I want it to be just the two of us, Simp said. Weibo certainly agreed. A relationship anniversary, of course. It should be just the two of us. I want to go somewhere far away. Simp hugged him like a plush toy. Not in Haicheng, not in Lucheng, but Jingcheng. Weibo picked up his phone and started checking the weather. It's been raining in Yunqing these past few days. Shall we go to Daocheng? There's a flight at 9 tomorrow morning. It's just over an hour's journey. Simp, MHM. Go to Daocheng, go to the seaside, go eat the little sea turtles by the shore. After booking the tickets, the two huddled together again to look at travel guides and choose a hotel. They were going to celebrate their anniversary, so naturally, they didn't want a checklist-style tour. Rest well in a comfortable hotel, walk along the coastline, eat local delicacies, and find a beautiful restaurant with good food for a birthday dinner. Perfect. Weibo, Badagwan, Schillerin. Which area is better to stay in? Simp, Badagwan. Weibo. Huh? Such a quick choice? Have you been to Daocheng before, classmate Xia? Simp nodded. In the autumn, when the maple leaves in Badagwan turn yellow, it's very beautiful. Weibo was a little wistful. Then let's go see it again in the autumn. Simp, MHM. Every promise made with her little turtle made her very happy. Today was already very blissful, but with a promise, she would look forward to tomorrow even more. From summer to autumn, it was truly wonderful. There were 3 5-star hotels near Badagwan. Weibo compared them and felt that the Xie Group's Ruihua Hotel had a better location and a more reasonable layout. He smiled and said, I'm not being biased. Ruihua is indeed better. Simp nodded. Then let's choose it. Seeing as the Ruihua Hotel did well on Weibo today, let's pick that one. MHM. Having decided on the hotel, the two started on their food guide. After looking at guides on red potato for a long time, Weibo was getting hungry. Pan-fried shrimp dumplings, sea worm rice, flounder head, garlic steamed oysters. Weibo shot up from the bed. I'll go pack my bags right now. Simp blinked. But we haven't picked a restaurant for our anniversary yet. Weibo easily understood the meaning of that questioning. He smiled and said, I'll decide on the birthday restaurant. Otherwise, wouldn't there be no surprise? Simp nodded emphatically. MHM. Immediately, she also climbed out of bed to pick out her dresses. Going to the seaside, she had to wear pretty dresses to show the little turtle. MHM. In about 10 minutes, Weibo had packed his clothes and some necessities for the two of them. And in those 10+ minutes, Simp had only picked out one dress. Weibo didn't see it. He wanted to help her choose, but was refused. Miss Xia poked her head out from her room full of turtle plushies and gave her reason. If you see the dress now, won't the surprise be gone? Oh, right. So, does student Xia have many dresses he has never seen before? Come to think of it, student Xia sometimes goes shopping with Hu Jingxian, leaving empty-handed and returning with bags of all sizes. But he seemed to have never seen student Xia wear those clothes. Perhaps it was because student Xia was usually quite low-key and it wasn't convenient to wear expensive clothes at school. Wei can't recognize brands, but I had no idea that Simp seemingly ordinary jeans actually cost thousands. A little after 11, Simp finally finished packing her clothes, accessories, and cosmetics. After putting them into a small, orange suitcase, Simp got back into bed. Time to sleep. We fly tomorrow, she said with a straight face. Student Xia's anticipation was written all over her face. Weibo pinched her cheek. Go to sleep just like that? Aren't we going to do something? This. Simp hesitated for a second. Doing something is fine too. The next morning, the two of them, carrying 2 small suitcases, went straight to the airport. By the time Hu Jingxian got the news, they had already passed through security. Xian, It's all over the trending topics, and all sorts of investors are getting restless. And you too just went on vacation like this. Man, Xian. I thought Wei Bai had a cautious personality. I didn't expect him to be this bold. Giving the entire Lingxi team a vacation is one thing, but now he's also dropped everything to live out a college student summer break. Man, Bai Bai said, this is to give them time for their meetings and discussions. Xian, yesterday alone, several people tried to use their connections with me, asking me to introduce them to Wei Bai and Jiang Xiang. Man, oh, Xian, by the way, the old man is preparing to let me take over the new tea beverage series. Man, this is what you really wanted to say, isn't it? Xian, haha. The beverage business might seem small, but the whole corporation once held the title of the richest in Daxia, which shows its scale and profits. The problem Hua Jingxian faced was that old Master Hua was too prolific, having a total of 6 children, both legitimate and illegitimate. Hua Jingshuan's father was one of the 3 legitimate children, and Hua Jingxian was one of her father's 3 children. In short, the battle for succession in the Hua family was unusually fierce. Hua Jingxian didn't want to use a marriage alliance to improve her status and obtain a portion of the assets. She wanted to become the true leader of the Hua Corporation, to hold this business empire firmly in her hands. But for a girl whose father was incompetent and whose mother wasn't much better, to fight her way through 3 generations and make old Master Hua notice her, it wasn't easy. But now everything was different. With the appearance of Lingxi, she instantly became the most dazzling person in the 3rd generation of the Hua family. Even her parents had to be mindful of her mood now. Hua Jingxian knew that now was the best time for her to enter the Hua Corporation. The new tea beverage line was the chance old Master Hua was giving her. Only by doing well could she truly be groomed as an heir. Xian, my dear, just as you're my backup, I will, step by step, become your support. Man, then you better work hard. Seeing these words, the corners of Hua Jingshuan's mouth lifted, her eyes filled with ambition. The Hua Corporation, she was determined to fight for it. Man, I'm about to board. Xian, what time do you arrive? Man, 10:30. Xian, ok. On the morning of the 24th, a little after 11, Xie Jiu landed in Haiqing. The first thing he did after getting off the plane was call Simp. The call connected quickly. Xie Jiu said excitedly, Guai Bao, Daddy has come to Haiqing to see you. He had flown for over 10 hours and finally landed in Haiqing. He came back this time both to get a good look at that boy, Wei Bai, and because his precious daughter's birthday was coming up. He wanted to celebrate it with her. At the thought of seeing his precious daughter soon, Xie Jiu's already excited heart became even more thrilled. However, a few seconds later, the voice from the phone's earpiece doused the flames of Xie Jiu's hopes, chilling him to the core. Oh, I'm not in Haicheng, Simp said coldly. What? Not in Haicheng. Her Weibo location yesterday was still in Haicheng. Sweetheart, did you go to Lucheng? Dad will come find you then. Xie Jiu said hurriedly. Simp turned her head, looked out the car window at the azure sky of Daocheng, and chuckled softly. I'm not in Lucheng either. Xie Jiu. Then where are you? Did you go back to Jingsheng? Simp. I'm not having fun with Bai Bai. Do as you please. With that, Simp hung up the phone. Under the scorching sun of Haicheng, Xie Jiu felt his heart turn ice cold. Do as I please. How could I do as I please? What was there for me to do as I please? He had returned to the country for his sweetheart, and now his sweetheart was ignoring him. So, who is in Haicheng? Alexia, Dennis, Xiaoyan. At the airport, Xie Jiu, abandoned by his daughter, sent the same message to several different women. Honey, long time no see. Classmate Xie ended the call just as the ride-hailing car arrived at the entrance of the Ruihua Hotel. Weibo got out of the car and took the luggage from the trunk. Before setting off, Weibo had checked the temperature in Daocheng. In July, the temperature in Daocheng was around 30 degrees Celsius, which wasn't considered cool. But after actually landing, Weibo discovered that the apparent temperature in Daocheng was lower than the actual temperature. That is to say, although the temperature was over 30 degrees, it didn't actually feel very hot. However, it was currently noon, and the sun was quite strong. Dragging the suitcase, Weibo looked around. To the right were groves of ginkgo and plane trees, along with clusters of old villas, lining the sides of the wide, clean asphalt road, exuding a romantic atmosphere completely different from the southern islands. The sea should be at the end of the road. Standing here, Weibo could already smell the salty, damp air. To the left were clusters of high-rise buildings, full of a modern, stylish atmosphere. Weibo sighed. No wonder so many people come here to travel. Based on Weibo's travel experience, some cities had outstanding natural scenery, while others had excellent urban construction. But Daocheng was a rare city that possessed both, and they blended together comfortably, creating a feeling that was both vibrant and lazily pleasant. Classmates, yeah, let's go check in first. Weibo reluctantly glanced at the scenery outside again and again before walking towards the hotel entrance. Simp hummed in agreement and followed closely behind him. The crystal chandelier in the hotel lobby looked like a cascade of shattered stars, and the light beige carpet was extremely comfortable to walk on. Weibo was very satisfied with the lobby's atmosphere. He pushed the luggage cart to the front desk. "Hello, we'd like to check in." The receptionist saw his face clearly and was stunned for a moment. After seeing Simp beside him, the astonishment on her face became even more unconcealable. But the Ruihua Hotel was a 5-star hotel, and its staff possessed extremely high professional standards. The receptionist herself was a veteran employee and had received many celebrities and stars. Therefore, after a moment of shock, she immediately switched to a professional smile. "Hello, do you have a reservation?" Weibo took out both of their ID cards. Yes. When the receptionist saw the names on the ID cards, her heart began to pound wildly. She quickly processed the check-in for the two of them. Seeing their figures enter the elevator, the receptionist immediately dialed the front office manager's number. "Director Jiang, the young miss is here. She just checked in." "Yes, that's right. Not alone. She came with Weibo." "Yes, one room." No. I handled it normally. I didn't disturb them." "Okay, understood, yes." After hanging up, the receptionist finally breathed a sigh of relief and whispered to her colleague, "It's the first time seeing the young miss up close. She's so beautiful." The colleague, who had just witnessed the whole thing, was still feeling thrilled. "CEO Wei is such a gentleman. They look so good together. They must be here on vacation, right?" the colleague said. The receptionist, "I think so. I can't believe it. Just yesterday I was reading about them on the hot search list, and today I see them in person. It was a pity that professional conduct forbade taking secret photos. Otherwise, she really wanted to capture the moment they stood side by side. It was truly a sight for sore eyes." Meanwhile, the front office manager hurried to the deputy general manager's office. "Director's son, young Miss Xie, just checked in with Weibo," the deputy manager said excitedly. "You mean Simp has come to our hotel? If he could get a chance to speak with her and leave a good impression on the young miss, he might be able to advance further within the group." The front office manager said hurriedly. Yes, the front desk said they seemed very low-key, probably here for a vacation. The deputy manager was just thinking about how to curry favor with the young miss when he heard the front office manager's words and suddenly calmed down as if a basin of cold water had been poured over him. Young Miss Xie's arrival, without notifying the hotel in advance, indicated it was a private trip and that she did not want to be high profile. Besides, the young miss was famously aloof and disliked socializing. If he were to disturb her rashly, it might just backfire. "Who did you just say the young miss came with?" the deputy manager asked. "Wei Bai, the young miss's boyfriend," the front office manager replied. Deputy manager, "How do you know that's her boyfriend? Did they book one room?" Front office manager, "Manager's son, perhaps you should check Weibo's trending topics." The deputy manager glanced at the front office manager. "You can go back to your work. Check the trending topics." "What trending topics?" The man was so tactless, making it seem like he was completely out of touch with the times. "What could be on the trending topics? Something related to the young miss?" The deputy manager opened Weibo and took a look. His eyes widened the more he scrolled. After a few minutes of browsing several trending topics, the deputy manager immediately sent a message to the general manager, who was away on a business trip. "Manager Wu, young Miss Xie and her boyfriend checked into the Ruihua in Island City at 11:10 a.m. today. 11:15 a.m. The message was relayed, seemingly casually, by Secretary Zhu to Yu Wei. "I hear the young miss went to Island City for a trip. She's staying at the Ruihua." Yu Wei looked up, glanced at Secretary Zhu, and the corner of her mouth twitched. Are you that free? Secretary Zhu tensed up instantly. I'll go arrange the meeting right now. She knew perfectly well that there was no need to report this kind of news to Manager Yu. But the staff at the Ruihua Hotel had reported it all the way up the chain of command. She couldn't just let the news die in the secretary's office, could she? Fortunately, Manager Yu had been in a good mood recently, so she managed to get away. Otherwise, who knows what kind of trouble she might have gotten herself into. Secretary Zhu returned to her office, sipping the coffee brought by a junior secretary as she looked out over the capital city scenery. When would she ever get to take a vacation in Island City and stay at the Ruihua? Wei Bai had really gone all out this time, booking the presidential suite at the Ruihua Hotel. Save where you can, spend where you must. He had used classmate Xie's diamond card when booking the room and gotten a 20% discount. At that moment, Wei Bai was touring the first presidential suite he had ever stayed in his life. The suite, which he estimated to be over 200 square meters, had a separate living room, dining room, study, master bedroom, walk-in closet, bathroom, private pool, and an open-air garden. The different functional areas within the suite were separated naturally, and the overall design was both luxurious and artistic. What satisfied Wei Bai the most was the suite's location. Standing before the floor-to-ceiling window, he could see red-tiled villas, green trees against a blue sky, and the sparkling sea. Wei Bai pushed open the window, letting the sea breeze in as he looked down upon the magnificent natural scenery. Xiam Yumin stood beside him, her hand held tightly in his. Classmate Xie, Wei Bai said, looking at his girlfriend beside him, we have to live in a place like this in the future. Xiam Yumin, Wei Bai, huh? You don't like it? Xiam Yumin, I like it a lot, but you can't live by the sea for too long. Wouldn't it be too humid? Huh? Wei Bai thought about it and realized she had a point. Then we'll just come visit often in the future. Xiam Yumin, okay. Hearing her okay, Wei Bai's heart filled with even more anticipation. It felt so good to be on a trip with classmate Xie. A person really needs to travel to faraway places from time to time, to feel a distant wind, see a distant sea, and eat distant cuisines. To leave a familiar environment, free oneself from work and study, and immerse oneself in nature. The feeling was truly wonderful, a sense of freedom like emptying one's mind. Let's go eat. I'm going to change my clothes. Huh? Okay. 5 minutes. All it took was 5 minutes. Xie, the magician Yumin, will present you with a brand new girlfriend. Before him, classmate Xie stood with her long hair draped over her shoulders, wearing a red gown with a train. It was cinched at the waist before flaring out like a flame, its layered skirt cascading like rolling red waves. She was as passionate as fire, yet as romantic as the sea. Wei Bai, who was used to the casual, everyday version of classmate Xie, was stunned. Truly and utterly stunned. He was reminded of endless fields of red roses he had seen somewhere, of the vibrant clouds at sunset, of butterflies dancing gracefully. Classmate Xie was just too beautiful. And of all things, she had to ask at that moment, do I look good? Wei Bai nodded repeatedly. You look amazing. So amazing. Holy crap. You look so damn beautiful. When a person is in a state of extreme shock, their ability to form coherent sentences disappears. Wei Bai admitted he was at a loss for words, simply because the person before him seemed otherworldly. His heart was pounding as wildly as it had when he first met her. What dinner? To hell with dinner. Time to get down to business. Classmate Xie, are you hungry? Wei Bai asked. Yes, Xiam Yumin nodded. Wei Bai. Let's go eat. Since classmate Xie was hungry, then of course they had to eat first. As for the business, it could be postponed. That was fine, wasn't it? What do you say, little Bai? The restaurant for their first meal after arriving was one Wei Bai had chosen in advance. To play it safe and avoid any bad experiences, he had picked a famous local chain called Kai Hai. Wei Bai, it's nearby. I booked a private room in advance. They said if you book a private room, you don't have to wait in line and can go right in. Xiam Yumin, compliant, let him lead her by the hand out of the hotel. The two receptionists gushed over them again. She changed her clothes. She looks so good. My God, the rumors that the young miss is more of a star than an actual celebrity. I've finally seen it for myself today. And did you notice the detail? Their fingers were intertwined. It was the peak of the tourist season, and the restaurant was crowded even at noon. Weibai was glad he had booked a private room in advance. He led Miss Xie, in her red dress, into the restaurant under the admiring gazes of many. "Good thing I booked a private room," Weibai said, with lingering apprehension. "Otherwise, I think a lot of people would have come up for photos." "They wouldn't," Simp chuckled. "The people of Island City don't chase celebrities." "Weibai, huh? What does that mean?" Simp blinked. "It's a popular topic lately. Many big celebrities come to Island City and walk down the street without anyone bothering them. The people of Island City say they don't chase stars, they'll just watch from a distance." Weibai was surprised. "Miss Xie, are you comparing yourself to a celebrity? What celebrity is as beautiful as this?" Simp thought for a moment. "That's true." Weibai was taken aback by her straightforwardness. Miss Xie really was confident. However, strictly speaking, this wasn't confidence, was it? It was objectivity. "Miss Xie, the most beautiful. Bar none." They started to order. "The signature flounder head?" Weibai asked. Simp said, looking at the menu on the mini program. "I want to eat the sea urchin dumplings and the mackerel dumplings." Simp loved seafood dumplings, but few restaurants in Lucheng or Haicheng made them. "Weibai, okay, this place is pretty interesting. They sell the dumplings by the pair. Let's just order 2 of each." Her small dimples appeared, so we don't end up with leftovers. Weibai ordered 2 sea urchin dumplings and 2 mackerel dumplings, and continued to look at the menu. "What's tiger salad? Should we get the tiger salad and the hand-peeled scallops?" Simp, "I've never had it either. Let's try it." "Pen tube squid with bok choy." "Sea intestine over rice." "The dishes at these local chains are really just the local residents' home-style cooking," Weibai said. "Looking at it this way, Island City's home cooking is very different from Lucheng's and Haicheng's. It's also different from the coastal south," Simp said. "It seems they rarely eat raw marinated seafood here." Weibai, "Now that you mention it, that's true. A region's environment shapes its people. Even among coastal cities, there were distinct culinary cultures." Weibai loved experiencing the food cultures of different regions, and being able to chat with Miss Xie about these things made him even happier. The food was not quick to arrive. They waited more than 10 minutes before seeing the flounder head. They ate while waiting for the next dish. The flounder head was sweet and savory, with a rich sauce that stunned Weibai from the first bite. As the dishes slowly arrived, he ate with great satisfaction, especially the grilled wild-caught prawn, priced at 38 yuan each. One bite was a fresh taste from the sea. "Weibai, I'm sure of it. I quite like Island City cuisine." He could accept all sorts of flavors from different places, as long as it was delicious, with the exception of Hautuinia, of course. Fortunately, Island City had nothing to do with Hautuinia. Simp also found it quite good. The sea urchin dumpling was a bit rich. One was just right. The stir-fried pen tube squid with bok choy had a very fresh taste that she liked. The two of them ate their first meal since landing in Island City quietly in the private room. They were completely unaware that in the main hall outside their room, many people were reliving the scene they had just witnessed. "So gorgeous." I was stunned for a moment, truly stunned. My mind went blank. I just stared blankly. Why do they look so familiar to me? How could they not be familiar? Isn't that Weibai and Simp? They're the hottest topic these last 2 days. Chapter 519. Isn't it a bit too soon? It really is Weibai. My son started treating him as his idol after watching the live stream. Can I go ask for an autograph? It's probably better not to. It would disturb them. That's true. In a certain private room, the two chatted as they ate, very leisurely. Their meal lasted for an hour and a half. When they finished and came out of the private room, there were still many people in the restaurant. Weibai once again received everyone's focused attention. He could tell that these gazes were all very well-intentioned. After walking out of the restaurant, Weibai remarked, "The people of Island City really don't chase celebrities." Simp, "Huh? Mr. Wei, are you comparing yourself to a celebrity?" Weibai laughed. That's right. I'm a celebrity's boss. More of a star than a star." According to a typical tourist itinerary, they should have gone to various attractions after their meal. But Weibai and Simp, holding hands, strolled back to the hotel instead. "Weibai, it's too hot at noon. Let's go out again around 3 or 4 o'clock. When the time comes, we'll walk slowly along the Badagwan and go to the seaside. Simp nodded decisively. Yes, let's go back to sleep. Go back to sleep, the sleep that should be slept. Yes. The day after tomorrow is Siem's 19th birthday. Originally, Yuli wanted to ask Simp to come back to Luchang for her birthday, but the two children told her that they were going to have a world of their own. While Yuli was disappointed, she was also a little gratified. It's good to have a world of their own. If they often have a world of their own, will grandchildren be far behind? Yuli was full of expectations for this. Thinking about it, Yuli remembered another matter. Yesterday, Secretary Zhu contacted her and relayed Yue's wish for Bai Bai and Man Man to get engaged as soon as possible. Yuli really didn't expect that the first person to urge for an engagement would be Yue. Is this still the same Yue with her head in the clouds? Can't she sit still after seeing the great success of Lingxi? Now she knows that Yuli's taste in choosing a son-in-law is first class, right? Humph. The important matter of engagement, Yue can't be relied on. It still has to be handled by her, Man Man's biological mother. This matter cannot be perfunctory. It must be done in a grand manner. However, the specific time and how to get engaged must take into account the needs of the CF family and also be discussed with by Bai's parents. My good friend Wu Ruxin had an important performance yesterday, so Yuli didn't disturb her and planned to talk about it after her performance was over. What? Engagement? Bai Bai is only 20 years old, and we're already talking about engagement. Isn't it a bit too early? In a video call, Old Wei questioned repeatedly. Wu Ruxin's smile couldn't be suppressed. How? Is it early? He's already 20. Besides, an engagement isn't a marriage. It's to settle things for the two children first, and we can talk about the wedding day later. Old Wei thought about it. It seems that it's not impossible. Man Man is so outstanding and comes from such a family background. It's better to settle it early to prevent some people from snatching his daughter-in-law. That's true. Old Wei pondered for a moment. It's better to get engaged first. We must get engaged first. When? How? We have no requirements. We'll listen to Man Man's aunt. Wu Ruxin smiled. I thought so too, but she insisted on discussing it with me. You don't have to worry about it. We'll just discuss it and decide. Old Wei suddenly remembered a very important matter. Do Man Man's parents know about this? Don't let it be that Man Man's aunt is making the decision on her own. They know, Wu Ruxin said. It was Man Man's mother who brought it up. She's too busy and doesn't have time to take care of the children. So isn't it up to you, Li, to handle this matter? Old Wei, what about Man Man's father? Did he agree to? Wu Ruxin, of course, they must have already discussed it before coming to discuss it with us. Old Wei thought about it. It made sense. Suddenly, he remembered another thing. Have you told Bai Bai and Man Man? We must get their opinions. Wu Ruxin, you don't know them? They will definitely agree. I'll discuss it with Yuli first, and then when they come back from the island city, we could discuss it with them. Old Wei sighed. Time flies so fast. In the blink of an eye, Bai Bai is getting engaged. It's still early. Wu Ruxin said, this is a big deal. We have to choose a date and make preparations. It will probably be winter. Old Wei Sai was defeated by Wu Ruxin's realism. He understood that his wife wished that two children could get engaged tomorrow, get married the day after tomorrow, and have a baby the day after that. Winter is pretty good. Old Wei said he wasn't worried, but he couldn't help but worry. Don't choose a time that's too cold. By the way, do we have to choose a holiday? Then, we only have a National Day holiday. Or we can let the children take 2 days off. Engagement is such a big deal, right? Wu Ruxin, why is this man suddenly so talkative? After ending the call, Wu Ruxin hummed a new song and continued to chat with Yuli. But Old Wei couldn't sit still in his office. In his eyes, although Wei Bai was in college, in a relationship, and had a successful career, he was still a child. How could he be getting engaged so soon? It wasn't that he was unwilling. On the contrary, he was very happy. It was just that in his heart, there was a little bit of melancholy. The child had really grown up and no longer needed his parents as much as he did when he was little. An old employee who had been with him for many years came to talk to him about work and saw him smoking alone by the window, asking, "What's wrong? Isn't that difficult project over?" Old Wei glanced at his colleague and said, "It's nothing. I'm thinking about my son's engagement." The old employee burst out laughing. "How old is Bai Bai? and you're already thinking about his engagement? It's too early. It's not early, Old Way sighed. It will probably be settled this year. Old Employee, what are you talking about? Old Way, do you think I'm joking? Your sister-in-law is busy with this matter right now. The Old Employee was dumbfounded.